what up, what up? Let me know if you can hear me. It's been, let me see. I checked everything now. Let me check OBS. Good, good, good. All right. So, Retro's not going to be here. T's not going to be here. Clocked it. Yeah, obviously. I don't know about Robert and Terrell, but I just said, you know what? I'll just start. Last week, took a break. And honestly, could have took another break, but I didn't want to start getting back into the habit of missing podcasts. But honestly, I don't think there's much to talk about. Meza T's birthday. Wish him a happy birthday on one of his videos or on wherever. Don't know. Honestly, I don't know where you can say hi to him outside of his comments. But yeah, it's been hot and muggy in Michigan, so I've been like just wiped out after work, and I haven't turned my Switch 2 on in like 10 days. I've played Hogwarts Legacy more than in the last 2 weeks than any other game. I've been reading the books. I've been rereading the Harry Potter books. I watched. I'm 4 books in. I'm on the 5th book, Order of Phoenix, and I've watched the first 4 movies. And just all about the Harry Potter world. So I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy with my second playthrough. I just got my broom, and you know I love the game, but one thing since the PS5 Pro came out, that game has just not been the most consistent performing on the Pro. There's a mode where you can balance mode and it engages 120 FPS, but the game jumps from like 50s to 90s to 100s, and so then you get to cap the frame rate, right? So cap it at 60 so it's less jumpy. Well, every time you go into the menu, it kicks back to 120 hertz, so my TV's constantly going in and out of 120 hertz and 60 hertz mode. And it's a little annoying, so I just run it open frame rate. But either way, I've been enjoying playing the game again, but something I've noticed, because I'm so into the books right now and the movies, like I wish, and I said this when Hogwarts Legacy, when it was my game of the year, like number 2 game of the year, maybe number 3. Maybe Robert remembers. What was Hogwarts like? Was that number 2 for me or 3?
Or for 2023.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely
remember.
top 3. I just don't know if it was
Probably number
2.
two. Probably number two.
But now that I'm replaying it and I'm reading the books, it just makes no damn sense that you can just go wherever you want all the time. Like as soon as you get the broom, you can just fly. You can, it can be like daytime, you fly, it turns to night, it turns back to morning. It's like I know that you're not.
Well, I mean,
It's not a school simulator, but I mean,
yeah. I mean, it would
thinking
be
of,
boring. It would be more boring if you were more restricted.
honestly, I would rather just be Hogwarts and Hogwarts grounds, and like at night you got to go back to the common room, and that like start the next day. Like honestly, I want a
Okay,
Hogwarts
I mean, yeah.
simulator.
I guess to be fair, or maybe you sneak out, and if you're at
If you
night, you have
sneak
to
out,
like.
yeah, but it's just like there's just no. It's an afterthought that like you're actually going a student in Hogwarts. There's a lot of cool dialogue and missions that make you feel like a student at Hogwarts, but when you're not doing a mission, it's just like
Well,
whatever. You know, it's
that's
just
funny because I played the first Harry Potter game, and that is one that like at night you go to sleep and then you wake up and it's like you can't really go out, and when you do go out it's you're sneaking, and it's because it follows the movie,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's why. Funny.
And it's also kind of disappointing. I was excited to boot it back up. I'm like, oh yeah, I never looked for the Shrieking Shack, you know, and then I'm like walking to Hogsmeade. I'm like, there's no underground tunnels getting to Hogsmeade. Like, there is one in the game, but it's just like the way that they laid out Hogwarts and Hogsmeade. Like, there's a huge dip down to the lake, and it's like there's no place for the Shrieking Shack or the Whomping Willow to exist in the way they set up. Hagrid's cabin isn't by the Forgotten Forbidden Forest. It's just down by a lake and just some minor trees around. Like literally every movie in the books
There's no
is
like Forbidden Forest in the
it
game.
is, but it's on the complete other
Oh,
side. Like
hmm.
it's not even Hagrid's cabin, the groundskeeper cabin is nowhere near the Forbidden Forest. And it's like just that should have been your starting point. Yeah, expand the world, but that should have been the starting point. Like it should have been pretty accurate because like it'd be cool to go to the spot where he calls summons the Patronus charm. It's not like they terraform the
Hmm.
land. That should exist. It should be between where the Wampin Willow should be and Hagrid's hut, off to a certain side. But it's just mountains and like the Owlery right there. It's like it's a little disappointing, but I'm still enjoying it. But also I find myself skipping through the dialogue because I already know where the story's going, and I was just like want to get my broom so I can like explore more. But and then the castle's just obviously there's a lot of castle that wasn't in the movies. They had to make it up. We never saw Slytherin
Is
come.
there a reason you started reading the books or seeing the movies and books again? Like,
I just got the books. I got the hardback set last year.
hmm.
Guy at work, he's had them. He never read them, and he was never going to. He had 5 of the books. He thought he had all 7, so I was gonna give him $100, and I was like, "Dude, you only have 5 of the 7." So he gave me $40 back, and then I bought. It was Deathly Hallows, and I feel like one of the early. I don't know if it was Half Blood Prince or one of the early ones. Might have been the last two, and they're slightly different, but they're the same. Like they're trying to make them. They look like the original release did, but they're just a little bit taller than the original release books. They're like $20 each, and I was like, you know what? I just I need sometimes I just can't sit comfortably with some issues I got, so sometimes it's just nice to lay down. And I was like, well, I might as well read because what else am I gonna do? I hate laying on my side all the time watching TV and stuff. So I was like, let me just read, and I just got sucked back in because I hadn't read the books probably since maybe 2012. It was the first time I read them.
Okay.
A girl at work loaned them to me, and I read through them pretty quick. And now that I'm rereading them, it's just like, man, it's so good. Like I just turned the
Yeah.
fan on to drown out any noise, just have some white noise, and
Yeah.
I just got the light. I got a reading light, and I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, I know everything that's gonna happen. There's no surprises. Even though
Hmm.
I did forget, like in the books, Ron and Hermione become prefects in their 5th year, and Harry's all jealous because Ron got selected as prefect, which is like, you know, the guidance. Like I don't know what they'd call in regular school, like a head of your dormitory or whatever. Like
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
they're like you know they're the ones that can make sure people are in bed or not exploring the castle. They're basically like guards, security guards.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I forgot all about that. It's definitely not in the movies at all.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. A lot of the changes are in the movies are just for time, but some of them it's like you could have mentioned like in the 4th movie, like one of the cool things for becoming a champion is they didn't have to do their exams. I swear that was in the movie, but I rewatched it. It's like, oh no, that was just from the books. I just remembered that from the books. And then
Well, it's
like,
funny because I'm literally about to start rewatching the movies because they're playing it near me.
yeah,
That's how I was like, "What the? Is there some Harry Potter thing
no,
that just?"
just I had the books also. I'm just I support J.K. Rowling's wholeheartedly, and I think it's ridiculous a lot of the hate she's received, and actually paying attention and reading what she says, like so I don't just hear other people's take on it, and I'm just like, yeah, she's just very adamant about women's rights and laws. Like otherwise, she's very liberal. She's very like progressive, but that one thing, and everybody hates her. Oh, like a lot of people on her side hate her for it. And it's like,
Well, I think a lot of us the especially the way she says things and stuff. You're just like,
but
why are
you
you
have
saying that?
to.
Why is not the way you're saying
If you
like,
see, like, if you actually pay attention, the other side, the side she's fighting, is so extreme and so ridiculous. They won't like. It's just ridiculous. I don't want to get into it, but it's just absurd. And yeah, so she's just standing her ground. She's like, I'm not caving in. Like, I'm just not. I mean, whatever. But
yeah.
either way,
I mean, I personally I don't agree, but I also am not gonna not watch Harry Potter and stuff
Yeah,
because of it.
I
I
mean,
mean, I don't.
she's a woman,
It did.
stands up for women's rights and not
Yeah,
having and being able to say, hey, you have a dick. You shouldn't be in a woman's locker room. I'm sorry, like that's it basically. You're not a woman. You can say you are. We can call you call you by whatever name you
Welcome
want.
to the Juiceless Loose, where we talk about
You're not
trans rights.
actually like that's what she's saying.
awesome.
She's like, I don't believe that you have the same rights that a
I
woman
clicked on
does.
this link. I
So
clicked on this one looking for Donkey Kong, and all I'm hearing talking about is
anyway,
chicks with dicks. What's going on, man?
anyway, that's
No,
really
you
her
can't.
stance. But
The comments of Terminator Juice does not correspond with the game Robert Gaming with me.
and I mean, I tend to listen to
Nice way
the
of covering your ass, Robert. Well played, sir. Well
like if
played.
somebody's like if somebody of a certain ethnicities there's an issue. I usually listen to people of that as ethnicities like take on it. I don't listen to just like the regular like all these other people. I want to hear from the people that supposedly it affects. And listening to women who it affects, that's who I listen to. I'm not going to listen to the other side when it comes to that kind of stuff. So that's what I always try to do. I'm not gonna like if there's some racial issue. I'm not gonna watch a bunch of white dudes talking about. Like I want to talk. I want to hear from the people who it actually affects. Like
For sure. I mean, there's plenty of women that do support
Yeah.
trans rights. Yeah, I feel like there's no woman that supports trans rights. I mean, you're
let's
clearly watching people that favor your opinion. That's the whole
no.
idea.
I've seen all the sides. I've heard all. Actually, haven't heard a decent argument on the other side. But either way,
Exactly.
that's
Because
just my policy.
it's not your opinion. That's how it's gonna work.
No
If
one
you
even
don't agree
makes
with
like a
it,
decent
Oh,
argument.
my goodness.
No one even makes
you're
like
never going
they,
to agree with it, which is why it doesn't matter what they're gonna say. You're never going to agree.
but
with
no
it.
one's
That's the
no
whole
one
thing.
comes up. No one actually has like a decent rebuttal. It's just anger, name calling, and all that. So that's it.
I for one love Donkey Kong Bonanza. I don't know what y'all.
So that's the side that's the mad name calling and just being ridiculous is the side I'm like, all right, make a good point. Let me, convince me. Make a good point. That's how I look
not
at all
women.
stuff.
Yeah,
But-
but you're never gonna be convinced, bro. I don't know what to say.
No one's made
Nothing-
it. No one's made an argument that was even remotely.
It doesn't matter what they're gonna say, yo. They never when you're so set and ingrained in that sort of thing.
That's
ain't
not
no one-
true.
nothing
I've changed.
You've been indoctrinated. That's what
If
I'm
somebody
hearing.
makes a good
Exactly.
argument, like if somebody makes a good argument, all right, that's cool. But I've not heard a good argument for that. So
I don't think there'll ever be an argument when
anyway,
it comes to that sort of stuff.
Hashtag never be convinced.
but yeah, I was starting out talking about how I haven't
Were you?
touched my Switch in 10 days.
I don't know what.
I haven't turned my Switch 2 on in 10 days. And so I was playing Hogwarts Legacy. Is basically all I've been playing in the last 2
Defending
weeks.
trans rights, and I got you. I see what you be doing.
But
Handling business.
yeah. So
If you identify as a woman, you're a woman. I don't see what the problem, man. I don't see
the issue is you can't tell, somebody's legit versus somebody who's a bad actor. That's the biggest problem. Can't,
Because there's no straight people that are bad actors, by the way.
I know, but
there's no people that
Undercover
are
brothers
not
and
straight that are bad
sisters?
actors.
I know, but it's like there's no way to tell if somebody's legit or not.
Exactly. So why the fuck does it matter? But whatever. Just move on. You're
It's-
never gonna be convinced.
so you-
It doesn't matter.
No, so you
They're gonna
just
be-
say, "I'm sorry. This is the law."
There's a
And
bad actor, so everyone should be punished. What don't you get?
that's how the world works.
That's what you're saying.
Oh,
they
That's
make
what
they
you're
make
saying.
laws to
That's actually what you're saying, bro.
they make laws not for people who aren't going to commit them, for people who are going to commit them. So it affects everybody, though. Even if you're never going to steal or anything, that law still exists to punish people for stealing. Like it has to. You have to put rules
Well,
in.
look,
For the bad
yeah,
actors are the reason laws and rules exist, because the regular person that's not going to commit it, well, some people would if there wasn't obviously any punishment for it. People would commit crimes because they
I
wouldn't
didn't
be.
know that has to do with being trans somehow.
No, you're saying bad act. It's just you have to. Just
Yeah, because you're essentially all right. We need to get off.
I'm just like, yeah, you can't. That's a bad argument because
You know who a bad actor is? Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's
That's
a real
a bad
bad
argument. If
actor.
you're saying all bad actors like that, that's,
no, I'm saying is you have to put laws and restrictions in place because people are going to do things that do bad things, and it's not to punish the people who aren't going to do it. It's just they have to have those rules and restrictions in place for the bad actors, even if it affects people who aren't going to be a bad actor. It's just the way it is. That's just society. I don't know.
But how does it involve trans?
Because you said one bad actor because of one bad actor. Then they have to punish
I know
everybody.
you show up in arms about, oh my God, the woman the woman cheated, so that means
you just have to stop. You just have to stop
not be
a potential bad actor from going in a place he doesn't belong. And like I said, you can't tell. No one's going to be able to tell. It's just based on someone's what they say they are. It's just like. Anyway, we'll talk about it afterwards. It's not what we're here for.
No, I'm good. We don't need to. Nothing's gonna happen. We're gonna talk, and nothing's gonna happen. We don't need to talk about it.
I feel like this was. I don't even. I just walked in here, and I still feel like this was a terrible decision.
Anyway,
you shouldn't have engaged knowing this was gonna happen.
So, let's talk about some Switch 2 stuff. Talk about bad actors. I've seen some people trying to get mad because Nintendo's bricked a few Switch 2s because people are trying what is that thing called? The
the thing where you can dump your saves into it and load it
kind
on
of.
the
It's
Switch
got a phrase.
No, it does.
Yeah, MIG or something or whatever.
So MIG card or whatever.
The problem with it is that it can technically. Actually, it's funny because it does low-key correlate with the other conversation. It's something that can. Let me explain. It can be used legally and illegally to dump files, but for the few bad actors out there,
they just have to. Yeah, there's no way to. There's no way to. Exactly. There's no way to separate.
No.
This person's going to do it for a good.
Nintendo, they just view it as not black and white, and they just view it as we're moving 8K. They're technically doing.
If you use it, it doesn't matter
exactly,
your intentions.
In my favor.
It bricks your system, and some people are selling their brick systems like on Marketplace and eBay, and others are like trying to return them, and people act like Nintendo's just like completely out of their they're just have no right to do that, and it's ridiculous. And I've seen people getting mad about it. I'm just like, if you want to buy your Switch 2, do whatever you want to it, but don't expect to be able to use Nintendo's online services and play games and go online like.
And then you're gonna give it to someone and not tell.
That's
fucked up, man.
That's really fucked. If you sell
it. We're just like, it's like I could have kind of understood your situation if you're trying to dump your legal files and it bricked the Switch. Yeah, I don't have any sympathy if you went and you fucked over another person.
I don't care. You're not dumping anything. You buy a game, either eShop on a cartridge, and you plug it in. There's no other option. Unless you just want to stay offline forever and just have your Switch 2 and do whatever you want.
No, I want to have my kid. You need it too.
Yeah,
obviously.
But you can't expect.
Isn't it just so people don't have to switch carts? Right?
No, so which you could load ROMs on it. That's the thing. You can
No, I know, but the idea is the legal idea, right, is that people don't use that so they don't have to switch carts around for
different just like people say.
Isn't that crazy lazy? I don't know.
That's just the lame justification, though. That's not why they're doing it. They're doing it so they can get a bunch of games without having to buy them. That's why they do it. There's some people who would do it just because they don't want to change the cartridge and they bought the game.
That's a part of the conversation I always thought was ridiculous when people want to talk about like Nintendo's anti-piracy measures and how they're going too hard. I'm like, sure, we know that there is a percentage of people who are doing these things that may be doing them for the right reasons. But let's not pretend like that. That's just the reason why people bring it up so much is because it's the best argument you can make for their cause. It's not the only argument, and we know there's a fuck ton of people who just don't give a damn and just want to load free games and be done with it. And that's cool. But let's not pretend like that this is this one legal reason is the one thing that you're like, that's totally why we're all doing. No.
Same thing with ripping movies. Like, I did some experimenting this weekend. I got about a dozen movies that I own. I put the disc in, I ripped into my computer using a free program, and I can stream them through a media player. That's fine. That's all I intend to it. But I know a guy, he doesn't own any of these. He has like hundreds of movies. He just goes to a torrent site and gets the file, and downloads it and it's on his NAS server. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I mean,
But here's the thing though. If they bricked both, well, I mean, it's not possible. Let's say they bricked your computer. Well, not, it wouldn't be your computer. I guess they would be bricking your player from being able to load it off of your media server. If they bricked it, because essentially that's what Nintendo's doing. It's like, hey, look, you think you're going to use this, regardless of your intentions. You're not going to use this program on my shit, so I'm going to brick it.
and it's
And
Wait,
and
hold on,
people
but
know it.
Isn't it only bricked when you
It's bricked online. It's not like bricked in terms of
brick
they
online,
can't.
but then you also have. Oh, okay. I thought,
they
but
can
also,
still-
I
they-
thought, like,
I think once it's
refresh it or
bricked,
something,
I'm
like,
probably guessing you can't do much with it. But
Well,
can you download updates or anything? Even
I'd be
No,
shocked
I
if
would-
you can use it at all for even to play offline.
I don't think you can.
But it's like
I think
people knew it ahead of time. They said it. They put it in their terms, and
I'm like, why did you buy the console if you knew you were gonna do some shit that could potentially?
like I said,
brick
if
it?
you want to just never turn on your online access and use Nintendo Switch Online and access to all their benefits of Nintendo Switch Online, you just want to buy a Switch 2, you want to solder on some chip so you can hack it, do whatever you want with it. That's fine. It's yours at that point. But don't be mad when they don't want you to go on and use and say, oh, hey, well, we're cool. At least you're buying games. We don't care that you're stealing games and all that. Like, it's just like PlayStation, I believe, has the same policy. Like, I know it's
Well,
not
both
prevalent.
Xbox and people don't like to bring it up because no one looks at it. It's only because people react to what is on the news and what people are saying. But like in the same terms and conditions, PlayStation and Xbox have the same thing, talking about modifying and all that type of stuff. But just people turn a blind eye, because they don't know about it because it's not in the news. People don't like to do their own research.
I don't think
the argument. I think the argument is that Nintendo's a lot more aggressive with it. But technically, if PlayStation and Xbox wanted to, they could do the same thing.
But I
and it would
never
make
see or hear about
In
people.
the terms, but
like-
I don't know if they do it. But
They put in their terms to cover their ass, but they're not. They technically can choose whether or not they want to indulge in it or not. And I think what the issue people have is that, like, well, why is Nintendo doing all this? But I guess here's my thing. This is 2025. Everything is available online, easily available online, and it doesn't take anything but a quick Google search if you don't already look this stuff up casually, if you don't already follow gaming news, to be like, okay, this is what's going to happen if I do X, Y, and Z. And then you have all these videos and channels that were talking about boycotting the system, and these are the reasons why. And these will be the same people who will look at every single thing and go, fuck it, I'm gonna try it anyway. And then be the first one on YouTube or Google being like, bro, they're so unfair. Why they bricked my system, yo? Bruh, you knew exactly what was about to happen. You just don't care, and that's fine. But you can't turn around and then act like you're a victim in it all. You knew you could have chose not to purchase a system. And I think it's funny because something I wanted to bring up is how I think Nintendo's gonna get a lot more secondhand backlash because of how the industry is changing as a whole. And I mean that in terms of, like, I'm be real with you, if it isn't Nintendo, pretty much exclusives are slowly dying in the context of you having to buy one box to play this one game. Like, realism, Nintendo is the only company that still really has that. Obviously PlayStation only has it on Steam, but like, and I think people were like, well, why won't Nintendo get with the times? Why everyone else's games on everything else? Why can't I play Mario on PC? Like,
Can you
I
play
feel
Death
like
Stranding 2 on PC? I don't know.
playing I wouldn't play Death Stranding at all.
Not yet. At some point,
I was curious.
No, not yet.
I mean, actually, I've seen some combat, and I was like, man, that looks like a huge jump forward over the first game as far as like the actual combat.
The combat is still the usual walking around and stuff.
But the main game looks similar, but it's stunning visually. And
Oh yeah, for sure, it's stunning.
but
One day
Kojima's
I'll
games
definitely
always
check it out.
mostly get good reviews. This one got way better reviews than the first game, or at least it was like, I saw it was like 89. I don't know if it's probably dropped since
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
The first one was like
Yeah.
80, I think.
It was like 80. I think it was 80.
79,
or
80.
something.
And but anyway, there's there's still exclusives here and there, but I get what you're saying. And to Nintendo though, it's everything. Like
Well, yeah, of course.
that, I don't plan on buying
Yeah.
a single third-party game on the Switch 2 unless something
I didn't.
crazy
I didn't
happens.
expect you. I didn't expect you to anyway.
I could see like Silk Song or something. You know, I'd almost rather have
So small indie games,
Like
essentially.
that
Or
game.
Yeah, I
smaller
mean, to be
on the
titles.
fair,
Switch.
realistically, you would have bought maybe 3 to 5 throughout the whole
Yeah,
generation.
yeah.
I mean,
when when
if there wasn't a disparity between the versions, I would buy the Nintendo.
There was
I'd
going
buy
to
it
be
on
a
the Nintendo
disparity, though.
system.
But there was always going to be a disparity.
Yeah,
I know what I'm
exactly.
saying.
Like,
It's
there,
not
there was a way
because-
to avoid that.
But if, like, let's just say a world that an alternate reality, if Nintendo's, you know, there was no
As
compromises
powerful
with
as
the game,
PS5.
and it looked and ran just as good, I would always buy them on. I would never buy another platform, pretty much. I'd always buy the third parties on that.
Gotcha.
Like, but just seeing like
That will happen one day.
someday.
That'll be like maybe.
I mean,
I think that could be 2 generations from now. So about 20 years from now.
2 generations.
The reason I say that is so we're getting to that point where it's like there's only so much more unless you want to spend.
Well, I mean,
$1 billion.
you're implying the 2 other manufacturers are still making games that are worth that they can afford to push the envelope with anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Is that at some point, you know, I'm saying
I'd be
2
curious,
generations
just-
has to be like essentially neck and neck with everybody.
I'd be curious
I will say
what
though,
it would
I
take
always-
to get Death Stranding 2 actually running on the Switch 2 at a good performance. I wonder what. I have
cloud
no
version,
idea.
obviously. Jeez.
Cloud would be
No,
one
I
way,
think you could totally do it. It just would be downgraded. But
like, I don't know that you can just totally do it. I mean, yeah,
totally
you
think
could make
do
it look like
You just gotta
Pokemon
lower the visuals.
Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, it would run, but like, what would they actually have to do with that? You know, to get that game running on
Well,
the Switch
you
2?
have the resolution. You have the frame rate.
When you look
have
at
the
Cyberpunk
textures,
runs
and I
at
think you're good.
Cyberpunk runs at 540 native. You know, I think Death Stranding 2 would be more demanding, but maybe not. Maybe it's just because it's a lot of open emptiness. There's not like a
It
ton
is a
of.
lot of open emptiness. So I don't know. I'd be curious, but I totally think you could do it. You just gotta, again, it depends how much compromise you want to make. But
Because I
I don't
mean,
see why not.
I've been watching. Actually, been spending most of my YouTube time Switch 2 related watching just switch ups, testing the old games on Switch 1 games, and some of them are like
Oh, yeah.
surprising how much better they look and run. And then Digital Foundry finally did for the free updates, and I didn't realize the 2 Zelda games were the top down, the Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom. Those went from like 900p to 1800p. It looks
I did see that.
in a dock mode. I only really messed around in the handheld mode, and it's like
I didn't know
What-
I didn't know Echoes of Wisdom ran as badly as it did.
I could tell. I definitely noticed it the whole time I played the game. Link's Awakening wasn't as often.
Yeah, according to that footage, you can tell there was a
And,
difference.
Like seeing it, it's like that's a massive difference. I mean, maybe not at my viewing distance, but for Robert,
Well, I
he
saw
would
that.
notice
I
it.
saw that they said. I saw that video, or at least most of it.
And then
where
Splatoon
he said,
3 is like native 4K versus like 900 720p, whatever it was. It's like 5 times the resolution at 60.
Well, he said it was damn near a remaster that they probably could have sold it.
Mhm.
I'm like, don't let
I
Nintendo hear that.
I
Why you
thought
say that out
about
loud?
looking up Splatoon 3, see what I can get it for.
I,
I was in that the other day,
I
actually.
think you probably could have gotten it for a little bit cheaper a few weeks ago, before
Yeah.
they did the update and stuff, but I don't know. I'll be curious. I mean, to be fair, like, I got mine for, I think, like 40 something, I think.
Well, there's a bunch of games on sale right now, to be fair.
Well, yeah, look at $37.99.
Yeah.
Yeah, have y'all looked at the eShop sales? It's ridiculous. Well, actually, just in
No,
general,
I'm
you
looking
can
at,
see-
I'm on eBay. I'm on eBay.
well, even like Steam or whatever. There's just we're in the middle of the summer sale.
We're
The
in
summer
middle
sale,
of- yeah, summer sale.
the summer sale has been absurd.
I haven't looked at any of that,
I-
but and then some of just the regular third-party games, no update. It's like there's some games where it had a significant dynamic resolution and an open frame rate. Like I think Crisis, the original Crisis, like on Switch 2, is like, damn, like that looks legit good. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's crazy. But some are capped at 30. Some had like some ran at 30, but it was unlocked and you didn't know it because the Switch One was just running at 30 because that's all it could do.
I even saw the Borderlands ones look really good. I was like, oh, okay.
And it's like Nintendo
What do
hasn't.
they run at now? Are they
Nintendo
still
never
are they
even
30 or
mentioned it.
60?
They've never
I think
mentioned it.
they're locked. They're
what?
locked 30.
Oh,
But there's some games that went from sub 30 to lock 60, sub resolution to whatever 720p, 800, 900p, whatever
yeah.
the target is,
That's
and
crazy.
Nintendo hasn't once mentioned it. None of their promotion,
Weird.
nothing. Just some of those
Weird.
updates. They mentioned some of those free updates. They'd never talked about. Probably because not every game works, but most games do. Like,
Yeah, technically, some of those games are still in the untested section.
Well,
Like
some
they're
of them, like Mario plus Rabbids, apparently went from 30 to 60.
yeah, that was one of them.
Even though it was a
like,
lot, even though it was a lot
Mhm.
30, like it just happened to
because
be.
of it was the double buff or something was kicked in, and this
Yeah, so
doesn't have
it just
to.
went straight to 60. You're like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. Which actually, I mean, this was one game, Taiko no Tatsujin, that I have Rhythm Festival that was unsupported. I was like, ah, shit. Of course, as soon as I get into it, it's like it's gonna be. And then all of a sudden, I checked like a few days ago, and they did update it now, like a few days ago, for it to work on Switch.
I think what was it? The Crash trilogy now works properly too, because it didn't.
The list is actually very small. It's just
now.
it's just the Switch has like 1,500 games. So it's like, so maybe it seems big, but it's legit. I think less than 100.
Out of curiosity, what is the console that has the most video games on it?
It's got to be like the Switch or PS4 or something. It's got to be because with
PS2,
the way they
maybe?
open the floodgates on indie games and stuff.
Wii and PS2 probably had a lot, but not the
Yeah,
indie game
but like
thing, yeah.
that's pre-downloadable stuff. I think with downloadable stuff, like I'm sure.
But it's just crazy how much like the Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 were supposed to be 60 FPS games. They never barely hit 60, and now they're locked. They don't look amazing, but they look definitely better than they did. They run better. Resident Evil 5, I guess, was a huge upgrade from Switch 1 to Switch 2.
It was.
I'm like, dang, I would consider buying the Switch 2 version. I still have never played that game.
I thought you don't buy third-party games on Switch, man. Come on now.
Well, this one says 11,561 PS4 games, and then Switch was like 15,000.
Oh, really?
Something game.
Really?
Over 12,700. So I don't, there's one adding every week, but yeah. Once you open the floodgates to anyone could upload, it's going to be every week. You're going to have at least 10 new games, just being uploaded every day, maybe even. So
right,
makes sense. But I'm sure pre 360, I'd be curious. It's probably PS2.
But either way, like Nintendo, that like people are sitting there still trying to say the Switch 2 isn't worth getting and stuff, and it's like, just do I don't know. There should be something that says, "Hey, backwards compatibility boost mode," like we said, like Sandstorm.
I guess.
Well, no, the problem that I've been seeing is that, and it's so confusing to me, as if people like somehow don't know how new consoles work. Like, there's like, you think I'm gonna buy a game? I'm gonna buy a console for one game and old games, and I'm like, bro, you're acting like that's it. That's the end of the generation.
I also hate when that's. I hate when that's said because that's literally what people bought the PS4 for when it launched.
But that's how that's what we buy every console for. That's what we buy every console from the beginning of time.
But I will say, I'm sure T would make this point, so I'm going to make it for him.
I know, another adventure game. But that's
not
what I'm saying.
No, I'm talking about before the last couple generations. Your new console launched with all new games. I mean, the Wii U was like the first one that was like, oh, these are all games that are already out, but the Wii U came in a weird time frame. Before that, I know that's 2012, so it's already 13 years ago. But before that, a new system launched. All it had was new games, new versions of Madden, new versions of whatever, but also brand new games that weren't available in the last generation. So it is a little different when Nintendo comes out in these weird in-betweens, that the majority of your lineup is just games that have already been out and people have played and beaten, for the most part. So it's a little different, but I still agree.
I mean, like PS5, my first game that I beat on PS5 was a PS4 game. it's not the end of the world. Like that's just how it's going to be for a lot of things. Like
Yeah,
to
but
me,
at the
it's like
same time, there was PS4 games on PS5 that were also on PS4, but they were both new when the
no,
PS5
no, for
came out.
sure, for sure.
They weren't like,
But we're not acting like there was not, we still had Mario Kart, and then again, like we have a launch lineup. We got in literally what a week and a half is Donkey
hmm
Kong, and then you got the other. Like my thing is, I don't know why people are acting like, um, this is the end of the generation. We're done. Like we're that's I'm gonna get it for just that. I'm like, you're not getting it for just Mario Kart,
yeah,
and you're getting it for Donkey Kong. You're getting it for Metro Prime. You're getting it for these games that are coming up, and also it's like, why do you? I don't know. For
And
me,
they're
like
actually releasing this year,
they're
unlike
releasing
other
this
companies.
year. That too, and also like if you're like, oh, I'm waiting for this game. It sounds like the Wii U is like, well, I'm waiting for Smash Brothers. Well, I'm waiting for well,
I
I'm
could
waiting
tell. I
for
could.
Starbucks.
I said in my Juice Opinions, I think it was Juice. Maybe I was doing a live stream on PS5. I said honestly, if you don't care, like if Mario Kart's not your thing, I got no problem telling you to wait for Donkey Kong or Metroid Prime 4, whatever
For
game.
sure.
There's no reason to get it right now if you just really don't want it. Like if Mario Kart's not your thing, there's no reason to buy a Switch 2 right now unless you just want to play some Switch 1 games at way better performance that maybe you were sitting on or hadn't played yet.
Which is a pretty good reason to me, but I guess not for everybody.
I said the same thing about PS5. This is like the best PS4 ever made. Like it's so much
Absolutely.
better. I'd never go back to PS4 um, after I got the PS5. And I would say there's Switch One. There's no. It's I booted up my Switch One every day to play YouTube in the kit while I'm getting ready or doing dishes. It's my YouTube player,
I seen that you
and
I
that
found a user
shit
like
is so laggy. On like just scrolling your feed, it will pause for 5 seconds, and you're pressing the button, and nothing happens, and all of a sudden it goes. That thing could barely run you, but once it's playing, it looks great. It looks great on the OLED. It looks way better than. It's a nice size. It's better than my little tiny
that's
phone
true.
screen. It has its own kickstand, but I feel like it's borderline. I could see it in a year from now, like being so laggy, so bad with YouTube. Like if YouTube updates or something, where it's just not gonna be able to handle it very good. But um, so I'm just like, I kind of wish the Switch 2 YouTube app would come out so
I'm
I
surprised it
switch
still
to
hasn't.
that.
I
Um,
thought within
I think
this year.
unfortunately that's going to be on a Google situation where
No, of course, but I thought they would have pushed that out like quick, but I guess not.
did uh any other
what?
games like free to play games get any Switch 2 editions? I know Fortnite did,
And obviously that's a big one,
but I don't know about like
we never
Overwatch
lied.
or I don't think Rocket League's as popular anymore. That could use definitely a new version. I don't even know if it
I don't
plays
know.
on Switch 2,
But
the Switch 1 version. It's not in my library when I
pretty
looked.
sure it is.
Um,
But I don't know if I don't think
but
it
yeah,
got
so
any
the
update or
Switch
anything.
1 is I'm already feeling it just using that. I mean, I played a Nintendo Switch Online Super Nintendo side pocket billiards game for like an hour the other day because I was watching YouTube. I was like, let me just check some Super Nintendo games. And I
Damn,
was like,
you really need Donkey Kong to come out, man.
no, it sucks. So like, it was a really good billiards game, but because your aiming thing is based on the amount of pixels, there's not that fine granular. So like, an easy shot should be an easy shot, but you can't. Your lineup it only can move by a certain
Yeah.
amount of pixels. I'm like,
Okay, I
so then
get
you have to
you.
try to use a spin on the ball by hit. You can move where that you hit it to like try to affect. It's actually really good. The physics though, it's crazy because I use the suspend mode. I was like, all right, I feel like I'm gonna save before I take the shot, and I'm not gonna even change anything, and I'm just gonna shoot it the same every time, and the ball goes differently every time. Like sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. So I don't know what's up to that game, but anyway, that was kind of a funny experience. Um, but I was like, I had everything ready. I was gonna post it on Marketplace. I had screen protectors. I got the case I bought. Original box, and I was gonna include. What else was I gonna include? I was thinking about a couple of my Switch games that I don't really need. I was gonna put $300, and I was like, you know what? Let me try it as a YouTube player, and now it's kind of that's what it is. It just feels like
That's
a
hilarious.
waste, but you're gonna see Juice on YouTube a lot.
I've seen it a lot where it's on YouTube already.
It connects to my
I've seen-
Bluetooth speaker pretty quickly, no issues, and
Okay.
it just works. So and it looks great. Like the image quality is fantastic. So, but other than that,
until that YouTube player on Switch 2.
Switch 2 has been out of the dock and turned off for almost a week and 10 days now because I left it for one day again. I was like, all right, I took the Joy-Cons off. I put the battery max at 90%. Don't charge past 90. I checked it the next day, like not 24 hours, but decent, like 18 hours later, and the fucking thing's just warm as hell. I'm like, I'm not gonna leave it hooked in the dock all the time. And it does actually affect me because yesterday I was thinking about playing. I was like, wow, the Switch is turned off. It's up on the bookshelf. I was turning the PS5 on because I'm right here and the controller's in my hand I play Hogwarts Legacy.
God, that's crazy.
But I'm not gonna leave it on if it's just gonna be warm all the time. I don't know. I don't like that. Doesn't seem good to me. Like that doesn't seem like it'd be good for it to always be that warm.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, we started off
Well,
talking about.
I've done all the missions in Mario Kart World now.
You did them? How do you know?
I did 394. Well, because the whole community's been.
It doesn't tell you when you completed
That's what we
it?
found was
Did it tell you?
no. So you technically
That's
would
so
never
Nintendo.
know.
That's
It's
so
so Nintendo. Yeah, absolutely.
I-
But I did complete it and yeah, I mean I have a blast with that game. It's great.
I haven't even finished the 150cc 3-star. I tried a couple weeks ago. I was really going at it, and I'm not kidding you. There's the Flower Cup. The final one is the fortress with the giant bullet bills. I don't know exactly what it's called.
Airship Fortress.
Yeah. Almost. I should have just recorded every time it happened. It would either be lightning, blue shell, or the person next to me would get 3 spinning green shells, and then that last spiral down the tower, you have to drift. If you lose your drift,
That
you're
happened
fucked.
to me.
So
And, yeah.
first time, person right got the 3 green shells. I got like fucking coins and a banana or something, and I'm trying to drift around them, hit it, get 3rd place. The next time I go, as soon as I land, I start my drift, lightning, and stop my drift. And everyone else, because it doesn't make you fall that punish you that far, they flew in and drifted past me, 3rd place.
Is that the one where it's like Daisy's always in the lead?
Daisy's my nemesis a lot. I don't know. She was in the
But
lead
I
a lot.
think they have a specific character
Yeah,
for each
I think
cup
it was Daisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have.
So
a
then the
specific
next
character
time-
for each one.
Same green shell again. I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to drift around. I try to drift around, run into the wall, and lost my drift. Next time, lightning again. Last time, blue shell. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, it's always in the same spot. It's like, if I got hit, I can, before that jump, be fine. Like, after the spiral, be fine. But it was always right in that spot, and I was getting so pissed. Like, this has to be
That happened
programmed.
to me like a good 3 to 4 times, and it was always Daisy that would drift around the corner, and I'm like, yo, you son of a bitch. You look too good.
I will
You're
say, though,
cutting
when
me off.
You finally
When you
do
double
it.
check
It
jump,
does.
that's what happens,
It does
bro.
feel good, like the sense of accomplishment when you finally do it. But it's almost like
Absolutely.
I didn't get screwed that time. Actually, I forget the last time. I think the lightning hit before I launched into the air or while I was in the air, so it barely affected me. And I'm just like, it's just frustrating, but it's always been that way. It's just I think a little more.
Yeah.
I think it's a little tougher in this one, but. And then I did some free roam. I did some question mark blocks. And when I'm doing it, like when I'm in the game playing, I'm enjoying it. But when I turn it off, I don't have that
You don't think about
that drive to I gotta get back in. Like it's like
it.
I'm sure if I turned it on yesterday, I would have had fun, did some stuff in the open world. But I just can't. The thing that bugs me is because. Obviously, I haven't played the tracks a ton. Some of the cups I only did twice because I got it on 50 and 100cc. I did them first try. So I was playing some later ones. I was like, all right, I get past the first track. I get, the second and third. I'm doing my 2, what do they call them, intermediate whatever laps.
Intermission, yeah.
Intermission laps. I get to the actual final lap, and it's the actual track, and I don't know the track yet. So I'm like. I missed a turn, or I didn't know to hold my drift because it was like a double. It was more of a U-turn, and I'm like, damn, I don't know this tracks yet. So then I like practiced some of the tracks first, and then went back, and it's like, um, you know, but I have not changed since I saw the treehouse stuff. I don't see the benefit of the intermission tracks in Grand Prix or like the online. I don't mind it being there, but I also wouldn't mind the option to say, hey, I only want to do three lap races for anybody. Like search for.
That's why the fans are pissed off because there was a trick to get around it before.
Yeah, the random.
If you select random and then they patched it out. So now even if you hit random, it doesn't.
Out. Random will
now random's fully random, and it will show you. How do you tell if it's a 3-lap when the selection doesn't have a path? Yeah, it doesn't show a path to it.
It'll have a path, and then if it's just the square, that means it's just.
So you can still vote for the 3-lap track, but you might see Rainbow. Yeah. Well, Rainbow Road isn't a 3-lap track anyway.
Rainbow Road is just.
Yeah.
That's like I know, but that's a traditional track though. You know what I mean? Like that Rainbow Road is just a traditional track.
So it's like.
Which, yeah.
I haven't even touched like Knockout Tour. I played on. I've not even touched it single player. I didn't touch it online other than with friends.
You got to try a single player.
I'll try it.
Stars.
It's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal.
Honestly, so like the limited amount of times I played it with just us. I mean, it was fun, but at the same time, it's like I don't know that I prefer it over just racing. But maybe I'll play it more. Maybe I'll change.
I don't know. I think when we play, I actually do prefer Knockout Tour because I think it's so hilarious and the way just be laughing.
There can be some there's gonna be some cool moments, but it'd be cool to have all 24 humans like friends lobby. So
definitely. It would be
because a lot of times we did end up like the top 3 or 4 every time, except for a couple times you get screwed. But
they need to update it to where you could bring friends online as groups. It makes no sense why you can't do that.
Yeah,
for Knockout Tour.
But just like as soon as I saw the treehouse, I was like, why'd they do that? Like some of these tracks are just amazing, and it's just for me, it just sucks to only do 1 lap around it, and especially if you mess up on that last part of it. And it's like there's no catching back up. Like that's.
Well, with the idea of Grand Prix, I would agree with you. Like in terms of that, like Grand Prix, I would because your next race, there's a loading screen. You go to the next one. I do think you might.
I wouldn't mind driving to the track just to like maybe that's how you do positions. Maybe you can get an item to start the race with or something. Like. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind just having it teleport.
Even then, I think that'd be extra. I do think for Grand Prix specifically, I think it makes more sense just
because I got Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour gives you all your in betweens. There's all these routes.
That makes sense.
Uses the open world, and so, but anyway.
I mean, I like the intermissions actually a lot. Like when
there's some sections that are good.
I do like the random the fact that random introduce that so it could be truly random for someone like me who likes it. But I do think the simplest thing would just to be add simple options like, hey, you turn off intermission, okay, you get that. Have people join lobbies.
You could do
little things.
No items online lobby.
No
just
items.
Search for no items lobby.
That's right. We were
fun.
able to do that. That's right.
Because if you made one mistake and the person, the other people didn't, there's no catching up. But just like you had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart 8 for 11 years, the formula was there. Like why, this game has been worked on forever. Like it's not like they rushed it to the end. Like I'm sure like they were adding the P switches and stuff like later on. But the main tracks and the main world were probably done years ago. Like
I have a feeling that that Sky High Sunday. I have a feeling it was introduced in 8 Deluxe and then put into Tour. My theory is it was already done in Mario Kart World, brought downscale to 8 Deluxe, and then downscale again to Tour. I think that's what really happened.
I think these tracks, they've been working on this game in between the other games, Splatoon and stuff, probably for years. And to not have basic options, maybe they just wanted everybody grouped together in the beginning. But if this game sells 20, 30, 40 million copies, you're always going to have a ton of players. You could have separate I want to do traditional 3-lap races on my online. Like some people might be, I want to do intermediate or intermission. Some people Knockout Tour only. Like it's just like
that's it. Options. No reason you can't.
You know, remember the no shells, but it was no green shells, no red shells, and no blue shells.
That's
Just do a
right.
no blue shell. Like
That's right.
red shells and green shells are part of Mario Kart. Just do a no blue shell. Just but when you're into the back of the pack, you know, it's nice to see that blue shell go. So, but whatever. It's just strange that they took stuff away, options away, and you know, Ayers thinks they're going to add it. I mean, they might.
I do think they will add stuff
They
like
probably
that.
will, but I wouldn't.
Well, this will
Like,
be this is going to be the game for the next like almost
Yeah.
decade, like
but there's no
realistically.
Yeah,
reason not
exactly.
to have some of that stuff in there.
Well,
But-
I'm officially done with the game single player wise. Everything I put in 90. I'm at like 90 something hours, and so now it's like I'm like, all right, now I will just play it casually like a typical Mario Kart game throughout the generation and play it throughout like that. But
I wonder if I think I got
absolutely loved it.
third.
It's my favorite Mario Kart, and had a blast with it.
Did I get up to 30 hours yet? Let's see.
And honestly, as someone who I play games from literally a couple years ago from you, yeah, literally, and I do think I'm gonna have to pick up Donkey Kong Bonanza day one, man. And
Oh
play
yeah,
that.
because that direct was since we did the last podcast.
We didn't. I guess we didn't talk about it, right? Technically, that was
No.
It happened after the last time we were on, so
phenomenal.
I was
Phenomenal.
the biggest skeptic,
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
and that was a great direct. And I was instantly intrigued when they got rid of that lame ass generic rock
Oh.
companion.
Oh,
What a dumb design! Like I don't think I voiced that.
I knew he was going to do this.
That was just a dumb design. I'm like, that's a terrible character design for a Nintendo game. Like, never
well, here's a
thought.
hot take. Here's a hot take. If you have an option to switch to Odd Rock, I'm going to switch it to Odd Rock over Pauline.
I bet you would. That sounds completely in brand for you.
And I almost feel
I
like
love that build. He's like,
I feel like they only did it just to make it a surprise. I don't think that's the only reason I think he exists. There's no other reason, just to surprise us. Like, and that was a huge surprise. As soon as I saw that, I was instantly more interested.
Oh yeah, you
in
never
the
saw
game.
the spoiler. You never saw the spoiler with the cover on it. That was the spoiler on the cover.
wait, did you see that leak
well,
where there was a Pauline?
Yeah, that was.
I
the
wouldn't
leak.
have
The
thought
leak
she was the
it was
damn
called-
rock though. Like, if I
Yeah,
figured she was in the
well,
game, like
yeah,
Cranky Kong
but-
was in the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, that was cool. And then just seeing, now I'm not gonna pretend like I think this looks like a 3D Mario killer. I still have some issues with just the basic traversal punching, destroying the ground stuff.
I don't see the point of punching rocks.
But they
man.
looks like the challenge
What's the
areas
point?
look cool. The
They look incredible. So good.
just the different environments look great. The transformations look great. The, you know,
I like that you can
Well,
switch
it's
between
like it's
them.
like
Mhm.
platformer shrines for like shrines, but for
I don't. Yeah,
platformer.
I could see though. I could see the transformations being more crucial in the challenge stuff than just in the regular game. I still not 100% like all in with just the main gameplay,
Game
but
loop.
I didn't think that was gonna change for you realistically. They would have had to. I almost feel like the game would have to fundamentally change for you to be like, oh yeah, this is cool.
because I'm still like, what do
I
you?
don't want to just
What
punch it all
is the
time.
level just punching through, collecting
DK.
gold?
Well, technically, I mean, it's in the end of the day, this is also very much kind of a collectathon where you're collecting a bunch of the
Yeah, they
banana,
mentioned all the shit you're
banana-
collecting.
But in,
banana
like-
gem gems and all that.
Not counting
And,
the challenge stuff, like, can Donkey Kong even get hit and die? Like, he just punches everything.
Did you not wait? Did you not see him take the damage when they shut off assist mode?
He takes
They-
hits.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Yeah, he
right.
did.
Yep.
He takes hits. Actually, I was surprised at how much hits he takes in normal mode. They take off 2 hearts just from getting smacked from an enemy. I'm like, well, wait a minute.
It was, well, yeah, it was. I was curious to see, yeah, because it was. I mean, it might be maybe it's a stronger-ish enemy in that world, but also have you noticed like this is gonna be a big game, man? Like I was just like going through the mind, like think of everything. Like when they showed us a tiny portion amount of worlds because when they go on the map to show like how far down it goes, it had several layers and it was only on like the second layer. Like I was like, damn, that we're gonna have. I mean, it's probably gonna be a good 9 to 10 worlds or more even, and I'm super curious to see what they're gonna do because they all look pretty cool. I like the fact that the beach thing. It doesn't have to be like, oh, it looks like we're underground. Like it could be just like an actual world sort of thing, which is cool. Um, and I man, I love the challenge things. I think that thing is gonna be so fun. The fact that it's like you have different sort of styles where it's like almost like a puzzle solve one, and then you have the 2D side scroller, like literally 2D side scroller platformer levels full
That's
fledged
the best
in the
part of the
game.
direct.
And I'm like,
Yeah, I
that's
already knew
awesome.
that was gonna be the part that
That's
Juice cared about
awesome.
the most.
This
Overall,
is
though, it was a
literally
great
2D
direct, though.
and 3D Donkey Kong
No,
made
it
by
was
Nintendo
absolutely.
developers. That's crazy.
Oh wow! Here's a title to a video. You want to guess who it is? PlayStation 1, the console wars.
No,
So
Red Knight. I already know
so
it's
why
Red
y'all
Knight.
still crying about Xbox? I
It's
mean,
funny because I found out there's a video online from one of the former original Xbox and 360 workers on like the console criticizing the hell out of that ROG Ally announcement.
Who?
Just
well,
what's her name? Lauren
No, who's it?
Fryer,
It was a what is it? An Xbox.
a former Xbox, and she was also around during the 360.
the
I think
Windows stuff is already hitting the ROG allies that are out. There's people, I don't know if it's beta or not, but there's already people getting access to the Xbox experience on the ROG allies they have now. But I will say the grip. It looks like it's probably going to be way more comfortable, but it's also way bigger because of the normal size controller grips.
well, she was mainly critiquing why the company has done that, but she's also acknowledging that Xbox has essentially become focused more on software than hardware in the context of like, oh, they'll just slap their brand on something and not actually make anything new themselves. And I'm like, yeah, that's about right. And then I got to see.
Why would they? I mean, you're looking at
here's my problem.
you're looking
You're a
at
hardware man.
GameCube, N64 at best, N64 sales for the series consoles. Like it's at 26 something million at almost 4.5 years in. That's barely above GameCube and Xbox. Like yeah, it probably ended around 30.
I can't believe that.
Well, yeah, but I think
the
critique is that I think her critique for someone who used to work in that ecosystem, she's like, well, Xbox used to care about making like games to sell their software. I mean, to sell their hardware.
Yeah.
Now it's just kind of like.
Well, the problem is their games weren't like their best selling game on the Xbox One was like Gears 4 or something, and it sold like 3-4 million copies, and Sony's were doing like 10 million for their bigger games, and then Nintendo was doing on the Wii U was doing better than Xbox One with a way smaller install base. Xbox One was like 50 million. I mean, we thought that was bad, but here's the thing: I can't remember. I think I said this.
It was bad in compared to the 360. It wasn't bad in general.
Yeah, it
the
wasn't bad in
topped
general.
out at like, because then the 360
it looked bad though.
Top out at like
especially
in the
considering
80s.
how they started, and how they did it. You thought it'd be lower.
It was surprising it even did 50. Yeah,
which makes it weird how low this one sold. The Series X.
Well, because they don't promote it like at all.
And now it's too expensive. No one's gonna buy it. No one right now.
I mean,
there's no incentive whatsoever.
They raised the price significantly, and then Sony had what 2-3 weeks where they dropped the price of their systems. I don't know if it's still going on. I don't think so.
I think you can still get it for. I thought you could still get it for like $450. I thought.
But here's the thing. I know people. Xbox guys are still talking Game Pass. They're still talking all this and
that's all they have to talk about.
From 2017, Game Pass existed in 2017, I believe, the first year. It only had 100 games. It wasn't that appealing. They've had Game Pass.
2016 even, to be honest.
They've had Game Pass this entire 4.5 years of the series consoles. They had all the cloud, all that investment they did in the cloud streaming so you could play your games. All that investment I heard about. Game Pass, this and that, and you're looking at almost the lowest selling Xbox other than the original ever. So Game Pass is not a selling point for their hardware. So can we quit saying it like it is? Like
I didn't know people were still saying it.
Like I mean,
people definitely do, but that's true. Actually, I didn't think about that. Yeah, technically.
What else can they do?
Really
that's what Terrell, you were making your video, and I was pulling my hair out. I'm like. PlayStation guys aren't going to stop buying their PlayStation so they can go play their PlayStation games via Steam, via the Xbox Windows-based system. Like, that's not going to change for them, especially.
I want to make it clear. My argument wasn't that Xbox was going to somehow retake the gaming market. I was just more saying that the value in buying a PlayStation 6 is not as high as like even the 5 is. Like
Honestly, I think it's
go ahead.
less. I think the Windows-based Xbox is going to be even with the day and date Xbox games coming on PlayStation 5 right now, and what we're going to assume is it's going to continue to be more and more. Unless that changes, there's no reason for the Xbox guy to buy the Windows Xbox originally the PS6.
I was thinking, originally I was thinking the PC, like Xbox. I was like, well,
no, realistically, all this is gonna do is just drive people more to PC gaming. I'm gonna be real with you.
But at the same time, I think it will be the person who doesn't want to get a PC but is interested slightly in PC gaming. Depending on what the thing is, it's either going to be really powerful and really expensive, or it's going to be mid-tier PC and the same price as the PS6. You know, it's going to be as powerful probably as a PS6, but as a PC, that isn't going to be like Steam games have issues even with like high-end graphics cards just because of PC porting is not the best. So I'd be curious how they would run. But anyway,
but it's also a Windows issue, realistically. Windows is not being great of an OS, and it's become more apparent as the years have gone on.
Oh, here's what I was gonna say. I was watching a video. I forget what he was reviewing, and in the background, he had his PC with RGB power, extendable power cables for your graphics card. You know, the nice white and black cables you can have that look nice. Now they're RGB cable, all your power cables are RGB. They're just freaking pulsing all the fans. That's the diehard PC guys. They want to be able to customize the PC. They want to upgrade.
Because the PCs are like cars for gearheads.
Yeah, they want to upgrade every year or two. New graphics card, new CPU, every other couple years. The diehard PC guys don't care about console gaming, and the Xbox having a Windows base isn't going to move the needle for them.
To be fair, I don't think they care about gaming in general, but that's a personal opinion.
But the guy who's maybe. I kind of want to get into PC gaming, but I don't want to build one, and they're kind of expensive. If the Xbox offers, the Xbox experience, Steam experience, all in one, I could see people going, but they'll buy that instead of buying an Xbox. Maybe they'll buy that. I just don't see a ton of PlayStation guys getting drawn over because those games are going to be on Steam now. Like,
I want to put this in context. That's implying that Xbox even makes another console. Okay,
they're already talking about it.
Well, they are. They confirmed. They talked about it, and they just made that video like a week ago.
They made like a 2-minute video or something. Video. I didn't watch it. But
I don't understand why when they don't seem to care about the consoles they currently have.
Well, that's why the whole idea is they're going to be making supposedly, a PC-like thing. And at first I was like, oh, you know what? That might actually push. Remember, I was saying, oh, that might push, PS players. But then when I do think about it, yeah, it's true that all you're going to have is that it's like, in the end of the day, you're just going to have one box. It's so strange.
I think it means
every box will have the same thing.
Yeah, I think it means there's no reason to buy two of no reason to buy an Xbox and a PlayStation anymore. Doesn't matter which one you buy.
Dude, I don't think there was a reason. I don't think there's been a reason since maybe the 360. I would argue there was no reason to buy an Xbox One, realistically.
Well, I mean, I didn't know that, Terrell, until I got a laptop.
Well, obviously,
but still,
you were lied to.
There was plenty
and I apologize for your loss. I'm just saying.
The problem was the quality.
What I will always say, the Series X is a really good backwards compatibility machine. That's
it's a good, well-made system, and it was. Yeah. By the way, what's up, Retro?
I think it's a well-named piece of hardware. It's just unfortunate that the company doesn't really give a fuck about it, like in any way, shape, or form. I'll be honest with you. And it's so disrespectful because that piece of shit 360 still is their like crowning achievement. I'm calling it the hardware is a piece of shit.
So,
let me ask you guys this. We were talking about Donkey Kong, but now we're talking about this. Do you think the name convention of the last two Xboxes had a factor? The Xbox One name was stupid.
X Series factor. I don't think it was. I think it was a factor.
I'm a core gamer, okay? And every time somebody mentions an Xbox, I have no fucking idea which Xbox they're talking about.
I think the problem is it was annoying during the Xbox One, and then it got worse with the Series X, because then there was the Series X, the Series S, the Xbox One X, the Xbox One
Yeah.
S, the Xbox One.
It's just a mouthful.
And I'm just like,
Just make
I think it would be. I think if the Xbox One was the worst it got, it'd be cool. And then the Series came out, and you were just like,
if they were
What?
gonna if they're gonna do something with
What
the
the
series
fuck?
title moving forward, maybe like Xbox Series Z. Like I don't know, but just why didn't you just say Xbox 4 at that point? Xbox 5, just cave. Like
Truthfully, for me, like, I think about it like, all right, next generation for me, I got a Series X because of backwards compatibility. The next Xbox, it's gonna be tough for me to really justify purchasing the next Xbox because I know for sure I'll want to at least play the Sony exclusives that, you know, I mean, by the time I play it technically on PC, but we'll have to see.
I'm agree with you. At that point, I almost think it'd be a better option for you just to.
But
well, especially you
But-
guys that game in the
but-
same spot. Your PC and your game systems are in the
well,
same
yeah,
spot.
but also,
yeah, like
also
it's
it
the
also
same experience
depends
for
on
us.
it also depends on if PlayStation will offer physical games.
No,
If they offer physical games, I would get a PlayStation still. If they
Wait,
don't offer physical games, I don't think I would get a
Yeah.
PlayStation.
I
I already told myself more than likely I won't buy the next PlayStation or Xbox console for a while. I have very little reason to at this point in the stage. I don't care what you offer. If they keep releasing games on PC,
I like my physical copies, and it gives more. It gives
I
more.
like-
I thought
like,
we already agreed
options.
that PlayStation 5 even doesn't always have physical copies though.
I mean
I get what
that's
you're saying. No,
that-
but the
Well,
thing
yeah,
is,
not
Xbox
Sony
specifically, their
games
own
do.
games, they don't even release their own games like physically, whether it be on disc or not. Like I mean, like in general, there's no copy. Like it doesn't exist.
So
And
you're
at
just
least
meaning
for Sony-
in-store bought box.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Okay.
at least for Sony, again, I buy a lot of my things on eBay, so if you get them for cheaper, if you buy it,
there's a playable game. I couldn't find a Sony published game where a playable version of the game wasn't on the disc, like still to this day. Now third parties like Ubisoft, like Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora is not on the disc. Star Wars
Yeah.
Outlaws, all those they're not
But
on
I
the
just
disc.
mean, like if they give, because there could be an idea where eventually they will, but I hope not, but I don't think so. I still think it's like another generation or two where they just literally will stop it being an all digital console.
because
I
another
don't-
generation too, maybe for PlayStation, for Xbox. I think that shit is
No,
dead.
for Xbox, I think we might get that next generation. I think there's a very
you-
like,
It'll be
you are-
interesting next gen if games are going to continuously be over 100 gigs, which would mean you need 2 discs in every.
I
case.
genuinely think. I mean, hell, Xbox. It's hard to find certain Xbox games physically now, even for
Most.
multiplayer. Yeah,
most.
That's
so
why
I don't. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think we're getting. I think this is probably the last generation that'll be like fully on physical games for every game for Xbox specifically. I'm not gonna say it for PlayStation, but Xbox, I'm pretty confident in saying they've kind of checked out of that side.
Well,
of the
actually,
market.
yeah, if they're gonna go PC sort of style, they probably won't do like.
That's my
physical
point.
games at all.
Yeah.
That's exactly my
It won't
point.
even
That's
be
exactly
a
my point.
physical. Just go to the
That's
stores
true.
now. The Xbox section's pathetic. Like
Yeah, exactly.
Well, also, I mean,
I-
if you've seen, I saw, not to interrupt, but like, there was the UK. I know it was the UK chairs, but hear me out, Retro. This is just to show the disparity between like consoles. Like, the percentage for each third-party game, even the ones that were like EA Sports FC, right? That soccer game, it was like 3% Xbox, and then you had like 25% Switch and like 45% whatever PS5, and I'm like, dude, like it is so microscopic.
well, they just play it
the
on
amount of
Game
people that buy
Pass.
games.
Ultimate has EA's whatever on
Like,
it.
Yeah, there's really no
Sure.
reason to buy like
Well, I'm sure
the-
third parties are very
It'd be-
frustrated with Xbox.
GTA
Like-
6 will tell you how many people are buying
Well,
games
yeah,
on
that will be the
Xbox.
one game that will sell on Xbox.
I'm just saying the disparity in percentage will be a lot more apparent than a game that you can play your EA games on Xbox Game Pass and if they still have that partnership. So that's not
no,
counting
but
as
even
a
I
sale.
even saw like Hogwarts Legacy, like
Oh,
it was
really?
like 2%. Yeah, I mean, let me go just because it was so low.
I'm
that
sorry.
like,
You can
and this
say
is-
they have all the
I-
features. Anybody wants to say Xbox has all the services, all the features. It doesn't matter. People don't buy the hardware. If you don't buy the hardware, then what does all this features and stuff mean?
well that's my whole argument. There was no
Well,
I think
these
people
guys don't buy
I think people's
games.
direction is going to be less towards. I think PC gaming will probably become more of the norm. That's also the reason why I made the argument about how Nintendo's gonna be looked at as the bad guy in this situation, not because of the failures, but because they're gonna be the only company that's still doing like traditional exclusives. And you're gonna start hearing things like saying, "Well, Nintendo's stuck in the past. I can play my Last of Us on PC, and I can play it on my Xbox ROG Ally. Why am I still gotta buy a Nintendo console to play Mario?" Like, and although we know that's fucking stupid, they are now the minority in a world where everyone else is just putting anything on everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I
like,
get it,
realistically-
they're going to make a ton of money just because they own Activision and stuff right there. So they'll make so much money off Call of Duty.
Yeah,
But it's just at some point, when do you say, well, what's the point of our hardware? Well, why do we even bother like spending
I feel like that now.
R&D
I feel-
development, you know?
well,
like
sometimes
you
some
don't
companies
start
just
yet.
have to spend money, just otherwise they have to pay it in taxes. They have to spend money. So
I feel like they have a failed console brand that they don't even care about. They've undermined saying everything is an Xbox. Almost to me made me think, well, then what the fuck is the point of me buying an actual Xbox?
it's just
Well, there's no point.
there's always
than-
there's
other
that
than the
transition.
convenience.
The fan base is slowly transitioning. Now they're toting the lines of
Oh, they're
this and
I think
that.
they're losing their
But
minds.
the
Actually,
reality is 2016, this path, like, you know, like the Destiny, those movies where you can branch off to an alternate dimension or reality or whatever, that announcement of Quantum Break going day and date on PC, the Xbox path veered off from everybody else, from Nintendo and Sony. They just veered off, and people were going crazy because they knew what it meant. You know, the Xbox guys were losing their shit. They knew what it meant. Yeah, Sony's also done PC gaming. Some of their like remasters, The Last of Us Part 1 was day and date on PC and PS5.
well, I think PlayStation's gonna get there too.
But,
Don't get it twisted.
yeah, at this point, like Stellar Blade was a year. They had a year exclusive, and it already
It was a big success for them.
and it sold 1 million
Yeah.
copies in 4 days on PC, and it took a year to sell 2 million on PS5. It's probably already the Steam's probably Steam sales will probably is not already surpass it. It had a huge like 180,000 like concurrent players. Like,
oh, dude, that's the reason why I said it wouldn't surprise me if people are just gonna slowly go into the Steam.
but I don't think Sony got
PC,
any of
right.
that. I don't think they're a publisher or anything for that game on Steam. I think because it
I
didn't
to
have
go
the
check.
PSN rule and stuff. But it's just like, you know,
I have to go check.
I'm
The-
glad
the-
I didn't have to wait a year to play it, but I'm not
The
mad at
problem
people
is-
that get to play it now on PC. Like, I have no feelings towards it negative.
What I'm saying is that like, when we're going in this direction, there's like less and less of a reason to. It's a bigger investment. It's a better investment just to invest in a PC, and the company that's smart enough to turn a PC experience into like almost a borderline exact console experience will have won the game at that point.
I
The
still
moment
think
you can.
I think
Oh,
it's
go
still going to be a slow. I don't see like a huge spike. Maybe with the next gen.
I'm saying next gen is
But
going to be a decent
there's
spike, especially
still-
when people are looking at when people look at the PS6. The other issue that we didn't even really address yet is that I almost feel like at this point Microsoft is just a third-party publisher, not even a developer at this point, because none of their fucking games either A come out or B are any good. Like half of the accomplishments of the Xbox brand has been really,
Bethesda's had a lot of games come
yeah,
out.
Bethesda, but that's like and technically
And
they
I
own
wouldn't even
Bethesda.
call that an Xbox brand just because they.
No,
bought
we
it.
have to.
They've had them long
technically.
enough where it's
Yeah, we
hard not to,
technically-
but it's like Nintendo bought Next Level, but they were already making exclusive games for
Yeah, but
Nintendo
like, for
anyway.
example, let's say something like Xenoblade. Xenoblade has been on Nintendo consoles for decades, you know. Whereas, yeah, Microsoft owns Bethesda, but I still am telling you, and I've said it from the start, there's no way the Elder Scrolls is going to be an Xbox console exclusive. I've said it from the start. There's no way
Well,
it's going to
obviously
happen.
not.
Well, that's the only reason why that's true is
Gears
because
Judgment's
Xbox-
not even going to be an exclusive. It's going to be
Yeah,
on
but
PC.
That's what I
the
mean.
reason why but here's the thing: the reason why that's not true is because Xbox doesn't care about having exclusives. Period. Like
They don't care about.
They just
surviving the
they just
console.
want to make money. They don't give a fuck about like, oh, well, it's only on Xbox. No, they're like, listen, we'll put it on PC, we'll put it on PlayStation, we'll put it on Switch.
There's
Is
still
it
a lot of
solid?
hurdles though to PC gaming.
I don't even
like,
know. They're putting the Outer Worlds 2, on PS5 for $80. Like, I'm sorry, and I said it before. Like, most games will not sell at $80. Mario Kart is an exception. Outer World 2 is not selling at no
No.
$80.
Oh no, you know what? A lot of people think that that's just a push to get them to get Game Pass because it'll
But
be.
they have a PlayStation. What are they supposed to do?
Oh, don't worry, Game Pass will end up on PlayStation soon. I am very
See,
confident in saying that.
that's the thing that
I think the only way that can happen though is if Xbox stop making hardware. Like I think Sony doesn't want that shit.
They will
genuinely-
stop. I'm telling you, they will stop making.
they are
hardware.
going to stop.
Well, they are, but I just don't know when.
well, they're not that.
I know, and I don't mean in like 10 years or 20 years, like I often say. Like, I wonder if they're even going to have a next generation console at this
It's
point.
gonna
They
be.
are, we already
Well,
said
we don't know though. It could be a partnership PC with an Xbox.
That's what I'm thinking they would do.
Okay.
I'm thinking
It
they
could
would
be a
just
pre-built. And here's the other thing. We were talking about the series name. Yeah, you went with two versions again. Like the Wii U didn't work. Like when has having a lower power and a higher power option? I don't know if that was ever tried before. Was it? Just, I mean, there's been
no.
smaller
Not
storage.
not in the
Not really.
capacity.
There was never
recently.
There was
Not
never
like
like
that,
the
no.
Switch was the only other one. Handheld and docked gives you a different performance, but having like
Yeah.
That's it's one,
having like a
one
significantly lower powered Xbox, which I believe was made up the majority of the sales, or more than half, I think. I don't have those numbers. I'm going off memory. I thought the Series S was higher, but I could be wrong. That kind of also was a negative on top of the name, because they're talking, oh, no, Mom's not going to know what difference between a Switch and a Switch 2. Well, you got a Series S and a Series X.
A Series S and a Series
And
X.
it's like,
At least a 2 denounced a sequel.
did Black
The
Myth
fuck does
Wukong
X and S mean?
did Black Myth Wukong come out yet on Xbox?
It did. I thought it did.
Because they
Did it?
It took. They said that it took a
check.
lot.
Robert, go to Google, please, and thank you.
The Series
I'm
S.
telling
They said the Series S was the hurdle for them, and that game doesn't.
It did. It came out in August.
It doesn't.
Oh, it's not August.
No, it's coming out. It's coming out in August.
Yeah, coming out.
Yo, that's my favorite line. Can I hope we can make that in audio? It comes out
It's
in
almost August.
Fuck, it's not
A month
August.
away. But
I guess it didn't come out yet.
that's one of
It will
those
be out,
games.
supposedly,
I wouldn't
in the future.
I wouldn't hold your breath for a Switch 2 version
In-game.
because it struggled on PS5. Like the 60 FPS mode is just frame gen. It's not even. It's a 30 FPS game that looks a little bit more fluid with the frame gen, but it doesn't play any different. And it's like I'd be curious to see. But also, Final Fantasy 16 runs at 720p on the Series X. That port they just did.
Don't worry, it's Modern Fun Fantasy. We don't give a fuck.
But who cares?
Hey,
Like
man,
720p.
What was it the director said? The director said he's like, next is Nintendo. He said.
Yeah.
So-
What's it gonna run on the Switch 2 on Series X? It's basically equal, but they said there are some differences to the development because of some of the exclusive AMD features. But
I'll put it this way: I think Square put in more effort into a Switch port than trying to get it to work properly on Xbox, purely because there's money in having it on Switch. There is no fucking money in having it on Xbox. Most people are just gonna get it, especially if it shows them on Game Pass. I'm gonna just get Game Pass.
But that's like I said earlier. I was gonna bring up a point. I
Go
think
ahead.
T brought it up last time we had a podcast. Oh, those PlayStation guys can buy the Xbox games and fund like they're
Fund
buying
what?
games. Like I don't. That's a. He said that could be bragging rights for Xbox guys. Hey,
Oh, like-
PlayStations
like
are buying
No,
funding
Xbox
what?
games,
Funding mediocre
And they're-
experiences.
and they're funding the next batch of games. I'm like, I guess that's a point for
Xbox fans are
Xbox
still
guys,
waiting for
but
fucking Fable.
why aren't
Shit.
you? Wouldn't you want Xbox guys to buy the games instead of just playing them off the service? And especially if you get it for cheaper, not paying full price. Like you shouldn't be celebrating that PlayStation gamers are going to be potentially funding Xbox games because Xbox guys aren't buying the games. Like that shows that Game Pass ain't enough.
I wouldn't celebrate it because Xbox doesn't have good enough management of their studios to fucking make good games. I'm gonna be real with you.
What is like an Xbox studio game? Like Forza series?
Forza, which is, I mean, you
They-
probably are better
Well, let me see, because I've thought
Thank
about that.
you
I'm
for
like,
that.
There's a
actually
lot
don't
of
know
games
what
that say Xbox Studio in front of it, but
Yeah.
what constitutes now?
Well,
do you-
let me see, I'm gonna look it up.
I
I'm gonna
honestly
look it
think
up.
I thought it was just. I hate to say
I
it.
guess it's just Flight Simulator, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
because the
That's
coalition,
crazy.
I believe they purchased and that makes Gears. They purchased 343 after they made Halo.
Well, I guess there's not really a Xbox.
I don't think they
Well,
ever
it-
had just like a true internal
Developer.
studio.
I don't
No.
know. I mean, I thought they did at some point.
I think they had a version. I'll put it this way: I think they were closer to it in the past than they are now.
I would say like
That's why I view them more as a publisher more now than anything else because they're not really
Well, no, they absolutely
Because, like,
are, especially
they're
in
not
Yeah.
really making anything.
but
That's
they own the
problem.
coalition like Nintendo owns Monolith, but we don't consider Monolith.
Actually, I think they were
Like-
literally called as like the biggest publisher right now. Like
They are. They
well, it
should
makes
be.
sense
They spend
because
all that
of Call
money.
of Duty and stuff.
But
the Call
so we
of Duty
can't
and
we
stuff.
can't say that the coalition don't count as a Microsoft studio if we count Monolith, but we still
No,
distinguish Monolith Soft. Like that's Monolith Soft. That's not Nintendo. That's Monolith Soft making that
But
game.
here's the thing: the difference is that Monolith Soft will
Well,
help.
they were formerly Microsoft Game Studios, the coalition. I didn't know
Okay.
that.
But here's the thing: at least with
Something.
Monolith Soft, using Monolith Soft as an example, we'll get their stuff in the form of like Xenoblade and stuff like that. But we also get them helping like Nintendo with their other IPs like
Yeah.
Zelda
Oh, wow,
and Mario,
yeah.
I
and
think
Mario Kart. That's perfectly fine. The problem with the coalition isn't that just Gears?
Well, they do
They're
help.
not
They
doing
know
it-
the Unreal. They help Unreal.
I mean, what other
They're
games
helping
are there for
Unreal,
them to
like,
work on?
They
develop-
helped. They helped
You
for
bastard.
Microsoft Flight Simulator.
And they probably help. I'm guessing they probably helped Ninja Theory with Unreal Engine 5. They actually.
And didn't they, and from what I heard, didn't Microsoft announce more layoffs recently? That's the other thing I just
I
found.
believe
I-
so.
I-
They did, yeah.
So I'm like, whoever.
Well, but I think that's just Microsoft as a whole. Like, I don't think it was. I don't know if it was
It
Xbox.
wasn't
I
just
think it was just
Xbox.
Microsoft.
But what is?
I think
I
it was
mean,
just Microsoft.
if the PS5 and everybody it doesn't have any games, there's not that many exclusive must-have games. If that's at last I heard was 75 million, but I think it was closer to 80 in 4.5 years. That it's on pretty much same pace as the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Third-party games primarily sell on that versus Xbox, at least the UK, but I've seen other numbers. It was that PC
No, I think
game
in general
from like a month ago where it was like 11,000 players on Xbox. It was like 200 and something thousand on PS5, and it was like 500, 600,000 on PC, whatever the breakdown. But it was like 11,000 versus 200 and something thousand on
I know
PlayStation.
it's a big difference, man.
It's just-
a big difference.
There's a I mean, to like get back to what started this. Yeah, the console war is over as far as like selling consoles,
Console
selling
has been
hardware.
over since the Xbox One era.
Yeah,
I
like-
agree with you.
And because there's so many people on PS5 and sticking with PlayStation, you never have to worry about like major third-party games are going to be optimized. That's the lead platform for a lot of companies. You don't have to worry about the games coming. I never have to watch an announcement and oh man, I hope that comes to PlayStation. Like I just know it's going to, unless it's like a couple years ago and it was an Xbox showcase. Then I'd have to check on some of them. So you never have to worry about if a game's coming.
Well, now you'll see PS5 logos and Xbox showcases.
Yeah, they're usually the lead platform. So if it's
yeah.
not always better performance, but you're not gonna have to worry about getting like a shitty version of the game. So it's like there are benefits to that. And if you've been on the since PS4, if you've been in their ecosystem and you have a bunch of digital games, you have your achievement, your trophies. I care about trophies now. So, Retro Death, goddamn you.
Oh man, you've gone to
Like,
the dark side. Yet.
I don't care about it like in Madden. I don't care about trophies in Madden. Like I don't have any yet. I don't know what you need to do to get a trophy in
It's
that
just
game.
you
But
see the
You
overall
probably got to do
value.
some crazy online stuff. I'm sure.
but I've never even played. I don't have online.
I think EA be the time to make you buy trophies. That's how I feel like with EA.
like Street Fighter. I cannot beat that damn.
$600 in FIFA.
Trophy.
It's a trophy. Sorry, go ahead.
Street Fighter 6. I cannot beat the damn world tour. I don't know if I'm at the end. I'm on chapter 15, and it's so ridiculously hard. It pissed me off because it's very Nintendo like what they do. So you have to go to the world map. You travel to I forget the area it's called, and you fast travel. Go to these steps. Then it's a cutscene takes you to like the mountaintop. Then you run up the mountain. You talk to a guy. and then he takes you to a cutscene, and then you end up in a locker room, and you go to the locker room, and then you talk to the guy, and then the fight starts. And I'm level 55, and the first opponent's level 50, and he's got Zangief's. He's just a generic. I think they auto-generated character using the character creation. And if he grabs you and throws you, third, your health's gone, and he's 5 levels below me. So all I had to do was he just wait for him to run at me, jump over him, and attack him, and my hits barely do any damage. So I spend like 5 minutes fighting this guy, and then it goes to the next guy. The next person was level 51. I beat it first try. The next guy's E Honda, and they made this huge bellied dude with like a afro, like colored afro, and he's E Honda's move, and I could not just touch him, and he beat me. And the first guy beat me about 10 times, and then it goes back to the mountain. Then I talk to the guy, skip the cutscene. Then I'm in the locker room, run out of the locker room, go talk to the guy, and I have to fight that first person again. I have to do that every time, and I'm like,
that's a pain in the ass.
I don't know, man. I don't know. And the level up at this point, the grinding I'd have to do.
Is there a difficulty slider that you can lower?
I don't think so. I mean, it's a level based.
Why is that a Nintendo thing? What's the reference in your head?
What do you mean?
You said this.
Nintendo you did say it was Nintendo like.
The fact that when I die, then I got to do all that bullshit and skip ahead. I don't know. I can't think of a Nintendo example, but it just felt like a Nintendo game. It felt like a Nintendo game thing.
It felt like something I should blame Nintendo
It felt like some Nintendo bullshit.
It does. It just felt like
Nintendo.
it. I can't give you an
Fuckers.
example. It felt like a Pokemon thing or something. Like
No, it's not. That's crazy. The only thing we have that's correlated to that is maybe the Elite Four. And Elite Four is nowhere near that fucking hard.
But it's like and then you can use tokens to after you lose a fight to restart, but they're really hard to get. I only have 4 of them. And I didn't even touch the guy. I'm like, I'm not going to waste this token. I'd rather go through that 1-2 minutes of bullshit to get back to this fight. I'm not going to waste. And then you can use like health during the match, but again, it's limited resource. You got to choose when you're going to use it, because otherwise then you got to go grind for money and buy more like drinks to like restore your health. And it's like, I'm never going to get the platinum in that game because I don't know if I'm ever going to get past that, if I even care to try, but I did
buy. Look up if there's a difficulty slider.
I tried to
fuck it, man.
I don't think so because of the level-based structure of it. But I tried to look it up. And
the way I see like trophies and stuff, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna platinum every game. It's like, no, if you have a game you love, it's like, okay, what is there? Oh, this mission tells me to, like, I don't know, kill the 500 horde in Days Gone in under 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I'll fucking try that shit, you know? Like stuff like that. You get more replay value out of games, I feel.
What's a trophy that you would be like, nah, I'm not doing, even for a game you love, that one's like, oh no, hell no.
There was one that I tried. I don't remember which game it was. There was a game that I loved, and it needed like I think it was like the only one I had left was a time trial thing, and I did a bunch of time trials, and it was one of them. I'm like, this is fucking impossible. I'm never gonna do this shit. If I think of it later, I'll mention it. But like,
I know.
Well, you also,
like, there's been trophies that I've been
played
hunting.
Uncharted on like crushing because of the trophy.
That's what I did, yeah. Because like Uncharted,
I don't know. I didn't touch an Uncharted on
like,
crushing.
But the way
Uncharted
works, so the way Uncharted works is every difficulty gets you a trophy. But if you start at the harder one, you get all the other ones. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll start in like crushing, because like realistically, I'm not gonna lie, Uncharted and crushing is not that hard.
That would be horrible.
One that I said screw it was I think it was Forbidden West. You have to beat the game on New Game Plus. I'm like, this is 100. I got 100 hours. I'm not going to replay it. Yeah, you can get through it in like 29 hours, but I probably was skipping cutscenes probably even quicker.
Over a day's worth of things.
That's a good example.
I just said no. I'm not going to do it.
Darksiders 2 has an achievement if you play through the whole game in like apocalyptic, I think, which means you can literally not die a single time, and it puts it on the hardest difficulty. The only thing that doesn't count is like environmental deaths. You know, if you fall off a cliff, or whatever.
Okay.
Everything else, I'm like, I ain't gonna fucking bother with that shit.
Well,
like,
Returnal had complete a daily challenge, and you go to the daily challenge, and it's like you get through this biome. And you can't pick up every item you pick up does damage, so you can't pick up items because there's health, so you could whatever. There's stuff that's like that punishing. I'm like, yeah, that's real good. Can't pick up a new weapon, otherwise you take massive damage. I'm like, I tried and I barely made it. Finally, I think they patched it because you could only do it once a day. You can only try it once a day initially. Well, when I replayed it, when I got the platinum, it let me just keep retrying. And it gave me, finally, like the third time, it gave me like a pretty simple one. I just had to get, not even through the end. I didn't have to fight the boss. I just got to a point and it counted it as good. And I was like, all right. You know, I just got to the portal. And it was the second biome, which I had like that mastered. Like I never had any issues at, like trying to get through that one. But yeah, some are just like unreasonable. And I'm not, wouldn't even try it. Like Hogwarts Legacy, I didn't even look to see what the hidden trophies were. I'm kind of curious.
You have to find a bad actor. That's what this is.
But yeah, anyway, we got off the Donkey Kong talk. I know Retro Death, you were already
We were
excited.
talking about the best box.
What'd you think about
Yeah,
the direct for Donkey Kong?
I wonder if anyone still says that in 2025.
Like, I love how Nintendo was. This is why I always say, man, leakers don't know shit. Because this is something, come on, nobody knew, nobody saw it coming. You got the little sidekick, and all of a sudden, there's like reveal, it's like Pauline and shit. It's
Retro.
so good.
We
Retro,
knew about that was
Retro.
leaked. Like,
Reggie,
Oh, it
we knew
was?
Hours
Yeah,
before.
yeah. I you know
I
what?
haven't heard anything of it anyway.
I didn't.
a literal
Not even
photo,
we.
like a
It was
literal photo.
yeah, the photo was leaked.
That's great. Well, for me at least, it came as out of
Yeah,
absolutely nowhere. man.
I feel really bad.
Why is it
Robert,
sharing
we sat
this?
here,
Look at that.
we
Infinite.
we sat here.
Whoa.
Why did you do this?
I accidentally grabbed the wrong screen.
Oh, and I can hear myself too. Oh no.
Can you?
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
But man,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
so
no, but
excited
it's
for
funny
that
'cause
direct
Retro-
was just absolutely amazing. Just the fact that like Pauline is always on him and stuff. It looks so good when he
Looks
punches and like Pauline is hanging onto his arm. She's all mad and shit. They added all this music aspect like for the
The
story. and whatnot,
customizing
like,
the outfits, the colors, like there's
And
The
they
fact
do
that the
stuff,
outfits get
the
the
well,
fact
the
that the
outfits they
outfits
had
get
already
buffs.
shown that, and
The fact that the outfits have buffs is what fucked me up. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool. Like you got like a skill tree for Donkey Kong and
Oh
everything.
yeah.
Like it's just absolutely amazing. Like I was already excited for this game, but now it's like, come on.
Oh yeah,
man. Like,
this game's
this
already pre-ordered.
emotional story. Like
nother
clearly,
level.
this story is gonna tug at your heartstrings. You know.
I was getting emotional just watching the trailer, man.
And if everybody watched,
Did you cry? The
I didn't, but
direct?
I was like, it was more of like a, like you're.
Oh, yeah. Your lip quivered. You had a quivering
I
lip.
was like,
related
I-
yet
I- I-
unrelated,
Pauline has-
Island.
like-
this is my
like
first time.
Pauline has outfits and stuff. I like that they added that even.
Yeah, that's, Pauline's adorable, and that's way better than that ugly rock character. But
I mean, I liked the Rock.
Justice for Odd Rock.
this is my
I didn't
first
think we
time
were-
watching this since I made my video comparing the Switch 2 and the Switch OLED screen. And I thought the Switch 2 was stuck on like vivid mode, but this looks
Awesome.
just, the colors look, what I'm seeing is like what they looked like on the Switch 2. So I think, I don't think the Switch 2 screen is locked into like a vivid mode. Actually, it looks on both my monitors. It looks, just as colorful, and so yeah, it's just
Look at it, gorgeous.
it's
man.
been a while since I hadn't watched this in a couple weeks. So just rewatching it kind
I
of.
love that there's like gonna be abilities that you can fly. When Donkey Kong transformed, I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah, transform. And
This
notice that
fucking
means he's gonna
Tekken
probably have
8.
he's gonna have a bunch of transformations. If it's for every single world, like every single
I'm pretty
leader,
sure they
There's
didn't
only
show
3, I
all of them,
think.
yeah. They
dude,
showed
there's gonna be
3.
way more.
Yeah.
There's gonna be
They
way-
only
and
show
it's for
3.
every
Think so?
single. Think about it. It's very likely gonna be for every single world. The leader. Think about it. They showed a zebra. They showed a giraffe. They showed a
At the
Kong.
very least, they're gonna have like a hidden one during the.
I think
final
there's
boss fight
4
or something.
maybe
I don't
top.
think so.
I think 3's
I think it's
likely,
gonna
4
be-
possible.
I'm gonna
Oh,
say
they
it's
all look
one for every world.
amazing,
But
like,
that
the-
world, if there's 9 worlds, there's gonna be 9 abilities. That's my guess.
That zebra looks jacked. It's so good.
Yeah.
That's a buff ass
Well-
zebra, dog.
I love
till you
that
get
these
to
are
the
photo
first
mode.
map.
That's such a
These
good
are you.
shot.
They
Yeah,
use
yeah, yeah.
photo mode to take these little in between shots, which is really
Mhm.
cool.
Wait till
I
you
thought,
get to the
I thought Juice would be in love with the
the
fact
map.
that Nintendo games seem to be focusing on photo mode.
I
a
spend
lot
more time. I
often.
spend as much time in photo mode in Mario Kart than I think the
Oh,
Grand Prix.
That sounds like
I
you.
always like photo modes, man. Every game. I'm like Robert with the stupid gliding shit. You know, every game should have a glider. Every game should have a fucking photo mode.
Especially
Well, actually,
ones
I mean, a
where
lot
you
of-
can
a lot
add
of games
a
have
couple
photo
of
modes.
light sources that really takes it to the next level.
Like all the expressions that Donkey Kong and Pauline have, like all their faces are like hilarious, like
animation,
so
yeah.
good.
I love, again, I always love how like it looks like controlling him is going to be great. Where it's like
Man,
it's
I
very,
played this.
like,
What you're
Oh, that's
seeing now, I
right.
played
that's
this.
right. That's right. You did play. How does he feel? How does it feel?
Yeah, like it's
Did he
so
feel furry? Was he
smooth.
fluffy?
No, it's so smooth, and like the punching is just so satisfying. Like you're punching
Nice.
through the rocks and everything. Like specifically, the demo I played had like that level underneath the ground in the mines. So you clearly have areas you can't punch through. Like obviously they did that and stuff. But it's like you're just like smashing all around. You have like everything feels alive. You have like all of like the monkeys working in the mines and stuff, and like you're just slapping around and like he controls so fluidly and everything. Like it.
Well,
Man,
I
it's
feel
like
like
a
he
video game.
everything has like weight to it. So like the way
Yeah.
you punch an enemy and it goes bang, it slams, and just the aggressiveness, like just it feels very visceral. Like you could feel the action, and I love that. I think it's great. Look at it, just hits the rock, boom, smack, like
It's
everything's just so.
satisfying just to walk around
Yeah.
and punch.
That's gonna be great. Like that's gonna be awesome.
I can't
And I
wait
love
for
how
the
even the
power to just
bosses, like when
Did-
you're
did you
fighting
play
the
it
boss,
In
punches,
portable mode, or
bam.
was it on a TV?
portable.
Oh,
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I
It
would
was just
assume
like
the
on
other
the
way
Switch.
around.
I thought it would have
Like,
been docked. I'm surprised.
thing.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a store to see if they have any demos near me. Like that.
I
flare's
did.
great.
I did. Apparently, I got messages today saying they're restocking Switch 2s again.
I'd be curious
Yeah, I
what it's
actually
up
gotta
to.
think
That's
So.
the
about
main
Best
reason
Buy.
I went inside. Actually, I was just curious if they had stock, and they just had like boxes that said there's no Switch 2 in here. And that's when I saw that the demo had like done. Because I just wanted to play Mario Kart on the demo. I was like, holy shit, there's Donkey Kong in it.
They saw Donkey Kong, we're like, oh my god. what
He's
the
going
hell?
through. He's going through
And,
Nintendo
like-
withdrawal, and
like-
it's hurting him.
Just the graphics were a little bit. It looks fucking amazing. Like in the mines, he has like the little headlight, and when you point it on the ground, like all the textures and everything, like it
Awesome.
looks visually amazing.
Well,
I love the
I hope they
designs, the
fix the
character
frame rate
designs.
issues.
They're all good. All the character designs look fantastic.
I mean,
I
I didn't
don't-
play for 10
I don't like
years,
the
but
generic
I thought the
monkeys,
frame
but-
rate looked like great on
Oh,
portable.
Why?
Why not? What'd they do?
the regular monkeys look weird to me.
Oh,
They look
Yeah,
good because
they
they
look
look
Like they look great.
they
Cranky looks good.
actual
DK looks
monkeys.
good. No, they look. They just
Like
Like
got.
the ones that
Like,
I
that looks
see working
awesome.
in the
That looks
mines,
that looks
awesome.
awesome. That looks awesome.
I think there's only
See,
three
that's
of
why
them.
I'm telling you, look, every single elder, I think every single world will have
Yeah.
their own unique elder, and they will have their own unique power. At the end, they'll give you the power, or at the beginning of the
They had to
world,
put the
either one.
freckles on Pauline too. You know,
What's wrong with the freckles?
nothing.
Oh, you said it like you said like they just had to put the freckles on like it was a bad thing. I wasn't sure.
They
No.
made it,
That just
like,
makes her
oh,
even
it's
cuter.
a young teen with freckles. I don't know what, but what, she lose her freckles? How does that happen? And do you lose your freckles?
Yeah,
How-
you can. It's like
Really?
genetics.
I had a ton of freckles when I was a kid. In the
Really?
summer, like,
I didn't
like
know that.
Yeah, but it didn't fit his metal image, so God took him away.
Right? You know,
Like, over years,
God-
now
God
it
was
just
like,
happens
"Hey,
in my arm.
He can't be a metalhead with these freckles, dog.
He
We gotta
scrapes
fix
on
it."
it, like,
God was like, I'm about to come over and scrape this shit off. Come here.
I noticed. Look at the worlds, right? Wait till you get to the map, and then you see how far. Like, I genuinely believe there's
flying and shit.
there's another.
I think when you get to- I
4 to
think it's
like
like
this
5
area
worlds.
looks cool. This area looks cool.
I think you're gonna get like 9 to 10 worlds, and each one will have their own unique ability. Look at the arrows. Oh well, I mean, to be fair, I was gonna say like
What's
the
that?
bottom
It's
corner.
got, oh, those are fossils. I was gonna say on the
But
right.
notice, if it was only 4, right?
they said
why
you
wouldn't
could
they? Why
transform
wouldn't
from
they?
animal
Look,
to animal.
look at the bottom left, right, where it shows
Oh, it has
the
a yeah.
abilities.
You can move over.
If if it was
Yeah.
only 4, they would put it on the D-pad instead of cycling
Mhm.
between. You know what I'm saying? To me,
It's possible,
Using
but
this gamer brain.
think about it, game design wise. Like in that case, you would just attach it to the 4. But if you have
That's
more
great.
than them, you
can
gotta scroll.
switch from animal to animal. It's so good.
That looks great.
Look at those
Look at
faces.
that.
This is so good.
so let's talk about I gotta say,
These characters are awesome.
we're talking about you're playing in portable mode. There's some controversy over Digital Foundry. Now, John Linneman, that guy has some weird takes, and he's very weird when it comes to displays. Like, I don't get too into the nerdy TV stuff, but OLED TVs have such fast response time that for some people they feel the motion doesn't look as natural as like your eyes are used to, because like CRTs, especially back in the day, would go to a black screen before going to the next frame. So to like wipe, I don't know exactly the reason, but it was a frame of picture, then it was black, then it was a frame of picture black, and for whatever reason they say that that's makes motion look better. So on OLED TVs they have a feature called black frame insertion. It makes your screen flicker, it looks terrible, dims it by like half brightness, and that mofo is like, that's all he cares about. Perfect motion clarity, you know. I don't care if it comes at brightness, I don't care if it flickers. So with that, knowing that, when he was talking about the Switch 2 screen being like really slow to refresh and kind of blurry with like he used Sonic as an example because he's a Sonic guy. I haven't tried a 2D game, like a fast-paced 2D game, but so he's like, yeah, this is it. You cause ghosting. He showed it, and it does. It is. It's technically the slowest of like all the handhelds, but I didn't notice it before he said it. 99% of people didn't notice it, and yet I see lots of back for. He even got in with Doc Trey about it. Like Doc Trey is just like going off, saying he misinformed and he's misinforming.
Yeah.
He's like, I said it's half the speed of the other, all the other handhelds. It's half the speed of this handheld. It's I don't like. It's just a question of, do you care? Most people aren't going to care, but it's technically factually correct, but most people don't care. I played in handheld, played Street Fighter 6. I didn't notice any issues. I think the screen's really good. But it's just one of those cases where, yeah, for him, he don't think it's very good, but I'm not going to get upset because that's his opinion. You know, like, I'm not mad about it, but I also wish he didn't say it so, like, they were saying it like it's just definitive, it's a trash screen, it's unplayable with side scrollers is kind of how they were phrasing it. And I understand people getting upset with that, but in my experience, I don't have a ton of experience in handheld, but I think the screen looks great, and I didn't even notice that. So I don't know about Terrell. I don't know how much you've played in handheld. I know Robert probably hasn't.
I haven't noticed anything.
I definitely haven't noticed this.
But I also didn't give a damn. It's funny because I saw Doc Trey upload. It's funny because I saw Doc Trey upload a video before I actually started the podcast. Somehow, John have that seat, and I was like, "What?" And so I didn't get a chance to watch the video.
Well, I looked. I read the comments, and Doc Trey's like, "You're saying it's like 40 or 400 times worse." Whatever he said, he's like, "No, I said it's half the whatever the technical term is, refresh rate or whatever." Response time. He's like, it's just factually half the response time of these handhelds. It's like, that's what I said. It's accurate. And you know, Doc Trey, I don't know if I've debated with Doc Trey on stuff, and he's never wrong. So there's no listening. He won't listen to anything. And I'm like, and somebody in his defense was like, yeah, why you got to analyze everything? You know, why are you looking at everything? Somebody brought up the Digital Foundry's like goal or what he does for a living, analyze tech. Like that's what he does. Yeah, he went too far, and they made it sound like it was just indisputable. This screen sucks. It's unplayable with 2D side scrollers, and yeah, that's too far. But at the same time, the information was accurate. So
I haven't watched Doc Trey in like almost 10 years, I think, but I can't.
What is this?
I got to watch. I wanted to look at the Red Knights video too, just to hear his opinions. I saw a next gen crashing out the other day about that whole Xbox like conversation about how like it's like games sell hardware.
Sorry, I didn't know what you were showing this for.
They only done four. That's why if you look, if it's 3 per thing, I think you're gonna get, even if it's another.
But that gets pretty close to the core there. I think there's going to be 4.
What terrain?
No, but the core is the core.
Yeah, that's the skill tree. It's funny. The skill tree is cool because of that whole like.
No, I don't know.
This is the map. This is the fast travel.
Yeah, it's a fast travel thing.
But look how many worlds you're probably gonna get. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
you're saying that's 3 worlds in this layer? You're saying 3 completely different worlds?
These are the separate. Yeah, these are the separate. Look, this is.
I don't think you're. I disagree with. I agree with more juice on. I don't think you're gonna get that many more.
Look.
Okay.
You might get. I'm thinking
Yeah.
you might get like
Pain is-
6.
Yeah,
So
but that would
3,
still be
6,
2 more.
9. But yeah, I think
so-
each layer is
so
gonna be a
technically,
move,
might
like
be it-
the elder.
A power.
Each
Yeah,
full
power,
layer is
yeah.
gonna be the elder, I'd say.
Yeah, I'll go.
That's what I'm saying. Each floor is an elder, which means you might get like 9 different worlds.
I don't
with-
know.
And I'm saying each world. I'm
I
saying
don't
each
think it's
layer of the
9.
earth there is gonna be one elder. So you got 3
and
worlds.
then only 1 left there, and then the end.
No, I'm saying see the 3 on the top, the top
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah.
You're gonna get 1 elder in that entire yellow ring. So
I don't
those
think-
3
I think that was
worlds,
already
1
confirmed.
elder.
That's how I see it too.
Yeah, I would agree that. I agree with that. You'll probably
No,
get
I
one
think
every.
it's already confirmed to be 1 elder is here, 1 elder
Robert,
is here, 1 elder
I'm
is
right
here.
with you. There's only so many
No
powers you
way.
can
I don't
add in a
think so.
platformer. There's only so many powers you can
I
add in a
don't think so.
platformer that's gonna
Well,
like be
let's see
viable
where
without you
there's
feeling
2.
redundant.
I think
Because-
it's 1 per layer.
and
that
you go-
see.
they
That's why
probably-
you
one per
only
layer.
get an extra one,
And
in
they
the final
probably-
boss that you don't have in the game.
Exactly,
and that's
1 per
gonna be it.
layer. So
And you
that's-
can
that's-
go
that would
back-
be like 9
you can
different-
go back-
No, but I think you're misunderstanding the layer thing.
A
though.
layer
Like,
is the layer of
The
earth. You
layer
got
is
the
the
shell.
world. The layer,
the layer is the
world.
color, the full color thing is what I'm saying though.
Yeah,
No,
so
not,
bro.
not each
Yes,
side
that's-
is not a
No,
layer.
bro.
That's what we're talking about. That's the
Hey,
layer. If
bro,
you look at the
come
photo,
on,
that's the
man.
layer. That's like the crest, and then the next layer, then the
I
core.
know, but wait,
Yeah.
what do you think the layer is, Terrell, specifically?
Like each colored chunk as you go down. Like one's yellow, the other one's brown. I think that's.
I think
each
Robert
layer.
is confused because they named each level a layer,
Yeah.
but we're talking about
Talking
the
about-
world layer.
That's not
a layer-
actually-
A layer is a world in Mario Odyssey, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. That's what it is.
Yeah, and there's 3 layers.
How are you not-
There's
Yeah,
3
sure.
worlds
I think
in.
there's
Sure, but
multiple
you're
worlds
talking about like
per
9
layer.
power ups. I think we'll probably get like 6, and maybe
So you
like a
think you're
7.
Probably be like 6 worlds.
Yeah.
6 main worlds,
I mean,
and
so
maybe like,
3,
and maybe
6,
like,
and then you think the middle will just be 1 dot, which would just be the boss, essentially. The
probably,
final.
probably we'll probably get an extra transformation for that.
I think there's going to be
Just-
an elder for each 3. What they're calling layer, what you want to call world. I'm talking. What I was talking the layer was the yellow ring itself, with their had 3
Hmm.
worlds in
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
you were saying that out of those 3, you're gonna have 1, 2, 3 layers. So it'd be 3 different. I don't think. I think we'll see. I mean, but I'm trying to see where the.
I'm thinking of it just from a gameplay standpoint. It doesn't make sense to like introduce a new fucking like transformation every fucking
No, that's a
die.
lot, but you never
It's a
know.
lot.
You never
On top of
know.
everything-
The
on
way
top
it
of
goes
every-
is
on-
like,
Consider you can use them anywhere. Remember that you can use these transformations anywhere. It makes no on
Yeah.
top of giving DK a skill tree. It's
What
like,
other transformation would he need?
That's what I'm saying. He has one that allows him to run on water. He has one that
It's like a
allows him to
grapple
punch
hook.
you anything.
Robert,
and
I
fly?
don't think these worlds what you're seeing now are gonna be that huge. So you're gonna have like a world to fight through the next layer. The next layer will you meet an elder, and then you go to the next layer. That's gonna have
Exactly.
a bunch of different worlds again.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's
wait,
not-
no. Now I'm confused with retro things. How many how many layers do you think there will be for you then?
Because that's why we're using layers, I think, differently. You have like the yellow, and there's a bunch of levels in there. And
I count that as a
calling
layer,
each
yeah.
level, I think, a layer, but we're calling the whole yellow world. That's one layer.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree
Otherwise,
with
why
that.
would they?
Color
Why would
has
they
a new
discolor?
color.
Why would they have the map be in those different colors as you're moving down?
There's no way you're gonna get a new elder in every single playable level. No way.
So do you think retros that you're gonna see an elder like on the 3rd layer
Yeah.
of that big crest?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Okay.
That makes
Or
sense.
it might be
because
at the
then-
beginning of it.
maybe.
It's like you're
Maybe.
fighting to get to the elders,
For sure.
through different worlds.
Yeah, like you're
I'm just
in
trying
your
to
like
find where the hell
maybe you're
the,
doing something to help the elder out or some shit. Since the Void
What's the
Company
elder
left
there?
all
Here
those
it goes.
blocks.
Let me see.
Now, I would agree that there's probably a couple transformations they don't have in the video. Definitely agree with that.
Well, of course,
but,
yeah,
like,
yeah. I would say there's probably another 3 to 4 more. I would
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know.
But 2 or 3, I'd say.
at
If
this.
not
Well, let's
just
see, let's
one
see.
for the final
Look,
boss.
I'm gonna be real with you
Oh,
because
wait,
the
wait,
big
hold on, look at this. Look at this. Hold on. Here's the confirmation.
what?
that
Well, they're all
they are
set-
in one layer. This is the other layer, and this is a different layer.
Yeah.
Those are all 3
But
different layers.
nothing is telling you that these layers are in the same world layer, though.
Oh, stop! We could go to back, dude. This is clear. We know
It's
that
possible,
This is one. We
but
know
that-
that this is the beginning initial
I
one.
think-
from
I
the
May,
think you
well,
would
here's the
literally
other
go
thing.
Yellow
Maybe you
one,
get them all.
this is-
Maybe you get the 3 moves early in the game, and then you just play
And
the
that's
rest of the
it?
game with them.
Maybe. I don't think so. I think there's gonna be an elder
I
in every
think
single.
I think you're gonna
I
get the
think, I think
three,
that'd be a lot. I think that'd be a
and
lot.
that's it.
Gameplay
And then you're gonna play
wise.
the rest of the game. Maybe get one more.
This is the 3D Mario team. They've been working since 8 years.
I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about in terms of overloading the player.
I can't
like,
imagine you're getting 3 every.
This is also
Every-
this is the Odyssey.
Yeah,
team that
yeah,
made,
that'd be
99
absurd.
power-ups in Odyssey. Remember, they made like 99 power-ups. So if you were able to shrink them
That's-
down to like
that's-
10 different
That's
ways,
different
level,
because
though.
no. The reason why that's different is because those powers were super situational, and some of them are kind of redundant anyway. If you play the game, like
It'd be like a
these
Shantae situation where you get one early and then you get one later on that makes the first one you got like not even worth.
You gotta see the
Exactly.
the Odyssey
exactly
transformations are
exactly
like
it.
Kirby, you know. It's
So,
like Kirby, like there's a
I'm-
bunch of transformations.
We'll
but
find out in
these
a couple
big
weeks. I'm
ones-
saying right now, you get them the first 3 levels, worlds, whatever. You get them, and then you're gonna have them for the rest of the game.
That's not a bad choice. But my point is
I
that
can't-
there's
I
only
can't
like
understand why you're thinking that.
I don't think it's gonna be like an absurd amount. Is my point. Like I don't think we're gonna have like 9 or 10 by the end of the game. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I'm
Because
saying
it's like in a because my thing is that here's my thing in a 3D platformer with DK specifically. I actually even think the Super Saiyan 1 is gonna be undermined by the fact that DK can level up his punches to break
Mhm.
harder material.
Robert,
Like, I
go
already
back.
think
What
we're
does the
gonna run into
lagoon
that
layer
problem.
look like? Because this doesn't look like one of the layers for the elders.
Yeah, go up.
That background
Yeah,
wasn't one of the elder backgrounds. It was the snow one.
Look-
It was the
Yeah.
green one, and it was the.
Well, this is a giraffe, which was the zebra, I believe. Or
No, he was in
See,
the
now-
green. He was in the
Can you
green.
remember the whole? Try to remember.
Yeah, he's in
the-
green.
And the
Also,
bird
he
was in the. Bird was in the green. The zebra
Bird
was in the ice.
green.
He was in. He was in a white background.
Okay, hold on.
So what's the
Yeah,
green
like
one?
I-
Hilltop layer? Is that green?
Let's see.
This is like the
Or- or
weirdest
the
thing
layer
to
they haven't
dig
shown, like, they
into.
haven't unlocked yet.
To
Okay, so
dig
this is where the
into-
gorilla.
Yeah, that's
I
the
know,
gorilla.
I-
Yep.
This is the gorilla one.
So what's Hilltop? Yeah, see, that's not the green or the white.
Banana.
So yeah, so essentially we were right before.
Yeah.
We're gonna get one in each chunk.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not
Each
gonna
ring,
be
each ring's gonna be a. Is going to be a.
well,
elder.
because like I said, like there's only so much you can do in these platformers, and the moment they start introducing a fuck ton of transformations, we
Yeah.
always run into that problem where one of them becomes irrelevant. So you're like, why the fuck did you put it in the game? Actually, what was it? You said Shantae. Shantae is a good example. Shantae does this shit all the time.
So, you
la-
get the
later
you get the
ones, really
bonanza
good.
transformation, or like in the first level, right there, because
Well, no, you
Yeah.
know what? I think about it. That might be. Is this where the ape was? Or was it?
I don't
here?
even think it's gonna be like that because I think you're gonna have like a couple levels even while you're still like playing with the
They
freaking
still,
like.
yeah, they
rock
won't
and
give you. Yeah,
stuff.
like you're not gonna give me a whole new
go back
transformation.
to
then give me
the
another one
where it
right
showed the
after.
elders.
Yeah,
then.
there's no way you're gonna
Yeah, I
get
gotta
like.
see
You
it.
need breathing room to
That's
enjoy
not-
the transformation experiment.
pretty
with
sure
it.
that-
They want- It's Nintendo. They want you to first know how to maneuver Donkey Kong before they add like the crazy.
Okay,
See,
so
that-
that's for sure. The very
Yeah,
first
that
one.
looks like almost like that hub
That's the
area.
very first
almost.
one, absolutely.
Yeah, that's where you're there. And then that one's in a completely different chunk. There is no ice one in that first layer.
This looks like it's an ice one, yeah.
So I'm gonna say there's
Yeah, it
looks
four.
like-
There's gonna be
it does look
four.
like
Or,
an ice
or crystal if you want to be technical about it. But
No,
the
it
point
does look
is,
like- in this green.
that is not the same.
We
thing.
see that later in the. We see that on a regular.
We see the
level.
world. Yeah, we see the world layer, but like we don't.
But we don't see it on the. We don't see it on the.
Yeah, we
map.
don't see it on the map. But the point
Mm.
I'm making is that we'll probably get one in each.
Right there's the
Gonna be
green.
like- that will be like an introduction to the next layer or next
Yeah.
next segment. Of,
I'm just
of-
saying, like in a
of the-
Yeah,
platform,
it's gonna be the
sense,
first world in the next
Gotcha,
in the
gotcha.
new ring. It's
you
gonna be-
gotta give the player a
I'm-
break
I'm-
between
I'm-
these.
I'm believing you guys more and more looking at it like that.
Well, yeah, because it doesn't make any sense the way you were saying it.
'Cause this.
Yeah, you're not
Just
getting
off
one
a
in
ga-
this.
Just off of a game design standpoint, it didn't make sense.
No, I
I
think.
mean-
I
See,
think
you only have
if
one
anyone
right
could-
now.
If anyone could pull it off, it's this.
Looking
team.
in the
I-
bottom
I-
left, you only
I
have
mean,
one.
No,
Make no
here's the
sense.
thing. Here's the thing. I'm not saying that they can't pull it off. What I'm saying is, it doesn't make sense.
Well, just look
to
in the
do
bottom
it.
left there. It only
feels
showed
like-
the
like a-
one.
like
You only
let's
have
say
the
even,
one.
like-
Because you wouldn't have a chance to even enjoy the power up before you get another one. Like that's bad design.
It's kind of like as if in Pokemon, in every new city, you get a legendary Pokemon. Like that's just never gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, because it kind of just ruins the gameplay experience.
Yeah.
Well, I
You
guess
gotta-
it depends on how
you gotta
in-depth
pace-
these-
You gotta
these-
pace your players. That's the whole
See,
point.
this area
think
you
it
have
depends on how-
you have at least 3.
Especially considering some of them are broken conceptually. The fact that the ostrich allows you to fly over like giant chunks of the area, I'm hoping that's a.
What
late
about the
game one, because
sculpting thing? Like the sculpting and coloring thing? That's just like
that is
crazy.
a very.
Peop-
I appreciate the attention to
People
detail.
are going
Maybe
to
that's
make
cool,
the
though.
sickest shit with that mode. I'm
I'll put
telling
it this
you
way:
now.
people went from saying I don't know if this is worth $70 to being like, I'll probably get this day one. That was the
I'll go to
transformation.
Walmart on day 1. So look at what looked like the icons there was the bird, the ostrich, and the.
Okay, so look, this one only has Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
the
the
third
other-
one
yeah.
on that
Which
ring,
would
I
be the
believe.
first, which would be the
Yeah.
third on the later. All right, it's confirmed.
So how many
I feel-
total
I
do you
hate-
think there is?
I hate that we had to go through this for something that the rest of us were kind of
I
like.
think there's
yeah,
those 3 rings and then
Come
the
on,
core.
man, that's fun. This is gaming, bro. This
I'm
is
saying
I'm
four.
just saying it would be. I'm just saying conceptually, it would
This
have
is
been
the
a
most
lot.
gaming talk we've ever had.
Well, we could be talking about some bad actors. So I guess it's fine. I like to use that term from now on. I'm gonna call-
Hey, they ruin it for everybody. It's just life.
If I want to get really petty about it, I'll name a specific bad
But
actor.
so let's just wrap things up. Xbox's console days are done.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck anymore, and neither should you. Besides, you can play those games on
Yeah,
PlayStation. You should
Yeah.
play those games on PlayStation 5.
All right, so
What's the
let's-
problem?
I know we'll
Or
never
PC
remember
on
this, but
Switch 2, anywhere else.
Fable,
Oh, that's-
Perfect Dark,
it wouldn't surprise me if that
Gears-
game gets canceled.
Gears
I'm gonna be real with
Judgment.
you.
Fable.
I would. I am. We haven't
Gears
heard.
E-Day?
We haven't even seen really anything from Fable, dude.
Gee, I was saying that 2 years
No,
ago.
wait, did it? No, I thought we did see something
The
like
last
What
time
did
they
we
showed
see?
it looked better.
maybe it was already years ago. Maybe I don't know.
I
thought
think it was a
Let's
CGI
look at
thing. I don't think it was.
Fable.
I know it wasn't. I haven't seen any gameplay. To
Let's
my
look at the
knowledge.
last trailer.
No gameplay, but but it
One-
was still something.
It looked
Xbox
better. I remember
2024.
being like,
2024 they
Games
showed it.
like Fable, you have no idea everything they put in.
Was
the
there
game, but
gameplay in
it's
that, or was it
like,
just a CGI trailer?
It's only been a year. Let's look. I thought it looked.
Oh, that's right.
I thought it looked a lot
2024.
more interesting in this time they showed
I
it.
forgot about.
But isn't this just? I just want to make sure. Isn't this just the CGI thing?
No, I don't think it's. It
Uh,
shows some what looks like behind the
Supposedly-
player.
Well, they say in-game footage. This is in-game footage.
Oh, let me see.
I do like the humor seems to be pretty good from what I've seen. I'm intrigued, but I don't think it's going to be some big massive
Who's
success
making
for
it? Is
them.
it Playground, right? Playground Studios. Or
Yeah,
something?
I
Yeah,
mean, they got it.
Playground. Yeah,
They're good
Playground.
with Forza. But it's quite the
I hate the way
departure.
you say.
But-
Why did you say it like that, man?
That's all
We're
they
going
made.
Frozen.
They made Playground they put Playground together just to make Forza. So that looks like
Oh
behind
yeah,
the
so there's
character.
some gameplay right here.
Okay, it was okay. That's on me.
But you know,
I
You're not
barely
seeing
remember
much.
this. I barely
I mean, that's
remember
cool,
this
but
thing. Not
It's
gonna lie.
still more than we've seen.
And
for-
I
I
gotta-
remember because we're making fun of her face. 'cause her
I'm
face looks
sorry, she
ass.
looks cute as hell
This
to me.
part no longer
Are you
says
shitting me?
in-game.
There's no way you think she looked cute as hell.
This is way better than the first time they showed her.
That looks so bad.
I think she looks cute. I don't know.
like someone punched her in her face and then just kind of reformed. Like,
No, relax, bro.
I will say the models that they used looks way better, but
Remember, you date someone like that? That's what that is, man.
I mean,
No, look at that.
Hey.
No, see.
I don't know. I'd have to see Mario.
she don't look as good there though, I will say.
No, yeah, that
But
was a bad angle.
If you see the actual person they scanned, she's a beautiful woman, so she's got a unique look though. She's a very unique
That makes it
looking woman.
worse though.
Yeah, it does make it worse.
But that looks like that's
Look,
supposed
look,
to be
another
gameplay.
walking thing, walking around.
This is like cut scene.
Yeah, this cutscene.
I might
Yeah,
not
one
deserve
of her walking around though.
God,
No,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
flattering.
I
That.
don't think you play
I
as
told you
Squirtle,
she
right?
looked rough, bro.
Yeah, that's just that one shot looked better.
Yeah, but to be fair, I don't think you play as
That's
her though.
game-
You could play as whoever. Oh look, there's some game.
If you can't play as her, she's all they've shown. I mean,
Yeah, I'm thinking you play as her,
I thought it
man.
was I thought it's you create a character.
Is it?
I guess. I
Yeah.
mean, they have the
Yeah,
default
all the
character,
Fables
and
that.
let's
I thought
look.
all the Fables are you create a character.
Let's look up. Let me look up the.
Let me look it up. I could have sworn that's what it is. Fable, can you create a character? Can you create a
Well, in the
your
original,
character?
you could.
No, I know, but like to the new one.
But that's
Yes,
funny.
you
You know, I heard a lot of well, PlayStation didn't show any first party games. Xbox didn't show Gears Judgment, Fable, or Perfect Dark in this last showcase. I feel like there's one more. State of Decay 3, and was that it? I think that
Maybe
was
not. Maybe not. I don't. It does. So far, they haven't.
Well, State of Decay 3, I don't think it's been acknowledged outside of
They
its
showed
original.
it that again, 2024. They showed it just like the
Did
Fable
they?
one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I blacked out then. What the fuck?
Wait, which game?
State of Decay.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I hate the way you said it. Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
So
Contraband.
just
Where's
because.
Was that a video game?
Where's Contraband?
So this
at?
the model has a unique face. I was
Who
know
gives a
Oh,
shit
she's
about
attractive. She's solid.
contraband?
I don't know that
Yeah,
she's way cuter.
Well,
or
look at
anything,
the
but-
one on the side right there. On the right.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She's got a unique look. You know.
She does. But
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
called ugly.
I do.
Do you think they captured her look?
I think they
game.
did her a little dirty. I think they did her a
Rachel's a
little dirty.
whole ass villain. dog.
I think they did her a little dirty. But
Shit, yeah, I don't think it's 1-to-1. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
what about Contraband though?
What about
No,
contraband?
What contraband?
Oh, we haven't
Come
seen
on.
that since what 2021, 2022.
Contraband is a game.
It was a title
Game.
screen.
Was it only a title screen? That is some
Well,
lame
it was like a
shit.
original
CG.
reveal.
It was a CG trailer inside like a trailer.
I think I hated the weird description. I'm not even saying you're lying. I just hate that is the reality of
Was
the
that what it was
situation.
called?
That sounds offensive to me. I hope you know that. Like that shit sounds stupid.
Was
as
that what
fuck.
it's actually called? Contraband.
Yeah. Where's the
Everything we
trailer?
know
I
so
can't-
far.
I think
Oh,
contraband.
I
is
see
the right
contraband
title.
police. I don't see contraband.
Wait a minute. I think they took it down from their Xbox.
Well,
Oh,
there,
actually,
there goes one.
Cancelled, confirmed.
There
it's-
goes
it's-
one. There goes one off the
I think we just
market.
have breaking
Everything we
news.
know so
No,
far.
There's been nothing. about it.
Nothing.
Breaking news. Contraband canceled. Yeah.
Wait, you said State of Decay 3 had footage from last year, right? Or am I wrong?
Well, they showed cinematic and stuff, but they showed
No, fuck
like
man.
they showed like footage from the game, not like gameplay, but they showed something. Oh, you
Wait,
found it?
No, but this is not from Xbox though. This is someone else. that
2021
think
because it doesn't
19
exist anymore.
views.
Avalanche
Oh,
Studios.
19 views.
What did they
Nobody
make?
cares.
What they
Avalanche
have?
Studios has done. They done. I
Is
think
that a
they did-
Bethesda?
Studios was what's it called? The Just Cause, I think.
Oh,
Let's
what
look.
is this?
Yep,
I
Just
just-
Cause,
Robert
Rage
is
2.
excited
Yeah,
for
it's a
this game.
Bethesda. Rage 2, so it must
Yeah,
be a Bethesda.
they did Just Cause.
Mad Max.
Rage 2.
But this is
Just
from
Cause.
2021, and I'm like, we don't even know what a
2021
co-op.
is-
Okay, a
is
co-op
the-
open world, so it tells you right there. I forgot
Robert
about that.
can't wait to play this game.
It's never gonna come out.
What's that?
This is
What's
canon.
that Jurassic World game? I thought that was like 3 years ago. It was a year and a half ago.
Well, yeah, it was only a year and a half ago. That's just funny. But no, that
Hey,
Contraband.
this is
that ain't
modern
coming.
game, and if you don't keep yourself in the news, we don't
That's
give a fuck.
hilarious. Yo, it's literally deleted off Xbox's own thing.
Oh, that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
They'll quietly kill a game
And
and,
the
then not tell you.
re-upload couldn't even get 20 views.
Well, no,
I'm
it's
telling
some
you, nobody's
generic
buying
channel.
it.
That's
That's
villainy.
just some random channel posted it.
That was villainy. I hate the way.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if Nintendo would delete like a Smash Bros. Trailer, somebody else uploaded it, it's still gonna get a fucking million
It
views.
would
in a
get views
month.
over time.
yeah,
I,
well, yeah,
I gotta go back
I
to
think
the
with
whole
Contraband
Fable
on
getting
Xbox,
canceled.
I don't see a single thing.
I don't think Fable's getting canceled. I just want to say that. There's no way.
No,
that-
Fine.
Fable
Fable's
was
not
fine.
gonna cancel,
I'll-
but it's not coming out anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think that's the next year game.
Well,
I'll
it's
say
like I
that.
said, Playground's out of their element. So, but I like the humor in that trailer.
My
seems
problem is they're
pretty
doing. Xbox is doing that same mistake I say Nintendo did back in 2013, where they announced a bunch of shit and we didn't see it for like 3 years.
To be fair, they've been doing that since the Xbox One launch.
They have, but that's my problem.
that's why
you haven't learned your fucking lesson.
Bro, that's 12 years. They ain't learned.
The lesson is to not show games
The whole
early.
child was born and grown up. and they
Agreed,
have-
but,
But-
they haven't learned the lesson yet. That's the
One
problem.
If you just canceled 8 or 9 live service games and you have nothing, you just sometimes you got to throw a bone, like Nintendo throwing a bone for Metroid Prime well before Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. They showed that like
Yeah.
2018.
I think no. Oh yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah,
So,
you're right.
but once we know the
Wait.
game's coming, I'm not mad that I haven't seen Ghost of Yotai 4 times. Like, show the reveal, this direct that's coming
Ghost
or
of
whatever,
Yotai is
and then the game's
different.
releasing. That's
I forget when
fine.
it's coming. I think it's
Is it
probably next
October?
year, right?
I thought was it October?
No, with the direct, don't they got a direct?
Oh,
They
the
said they
direct.
get-
I thought you meant the game itself.
What's I always
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
the
it's
Sam
not true,
Housemarque game. I can never remember the damn name. Starts with S.
Saros?
Saros. They
Saros?
said they revealed it to the studio and said they'll show more later this year. And I'm like, I didn't need to see it. I don't need to see it at every state of play.
Certain,
Like,
certain
Well,
titles.
I don't need to see it every state.
I want to see it one more time, and then I want the
You know
game to
what-
come out
you know one
and have a
game
final
that I
trailer.
thought- You know, one game I thought we would see during State of Play, we didn't. That fucking Naughty Dog game. What happened to that?
That's a
Which Naughty-
27 probably game. I think.
Yeah,
they-
that ain't coming out.
How's
for
that a
years,
20? That game apparently has been in development for 8 years. How the fuck is that a 2027 game?
Was it 8 years? I don't know.
They
They
it didn't
said
sound like it was that. Sounds like they're still far way off from what they said.
Then why the
initially.
fuck? They promote the way it was promoted
They-
was like
That was
hey,
here's a tease. We got nothing else in the.
He
We
was
got.
giving. Well, think about it, was for Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley's like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, yeah, because it's Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog has a good enough reputation where you could get
Remember,
away
he
with
went-
that shit.
It is time.
All right.
I'm so excited. This is a reveal that I've. What he starts like breaking down, where he's like, "This is hilarious."
I think I was just mad that they did. I think what bothered me is the fact that they even said it was a the 8-year development, because then it just kind of pissed me off because I was like,
I think it'll be a cross-gen title for PS6 launch.
dude, please.
They better not release the PS6 next year. That's all I'm gonna say.
There's been conversations about that a lot lately, and I'm just like, bro.
Well, they did say that they said their mind is now on, or their mind is towards PS6. What they said? What was the exact quote?
I don't care what they
Also,
said.
no, did you see it? One quick thing. That the PS5 is finally more active users than the PS4. 2020.
Hey, that just shows you how great the PS4 was. That's all that proves.
No, absolutely. But like to me, I
see
think
that
I
definitely,
genuinely believe it's
but-
only gonna get worse and worse.
Yeah,
Like when
that's the
PS6
difference of opinion, but okay.
No, but
I
I
love
think
the
I think this is
PS4.
gonna get worse and worse.
No,
When the PS6
I think the
comes out,
PS4 is great. I'm just saying it doesn't show how great the PS4 was. It shows how bad the PS5 is.
Yeah, but that's what I was
Also,
leaning
no,
towards you.
that the PS6 when that comes out, it won't. I'm gonna make a prediction. It won't get more active users until the final year of its generation.
You can't just say it's final year because it could be forever and then an exact date and time.
Okay, all right. Well, if it comes out 2027, then it will be like 20. What would it be 20?
20 what?
34. And that's when the active
2034.
users- That's when the active users of PS6 will
2027, I could
outperform-
humor them releasing it 2027. There's fucking 7 years, but next year, I don't
Here's
care
my
what
question.
Xbox does. Sony
Here's
should.
my question. Here's my question. What if it's
X-
early 2027? Like you were the announcement like in June of next year.
I think
Nah.
Sony and Microsoft don't mess with that middle of the year stuff.
If Xbox if Xbox
Mess
needs,
with it? No fun.
let Xbox release their PC. That's not gonna matter. The PS5's hitting its stride with finally ninth gen only games like Death Stranding 2 really showcasing what you can do. You got almost every game coming out from here on out. It's gonna be ninth gen only minus a few exceptions where there'll be still PS4 versions. It's gonna be hitting its stride in the next 2 years. If you put out a new system, I think it's gonna really backfire for them. But
But they've been doing that the last two consoles where they'll release like a they'll release some high quality games in that last year, and while
Yeah.
the momentum's high, be like, new console. Like they always do. They
Galactic will
did
come out, man.
they did it with the PS3. They did it with the PS4. If they do it again, PS5. That's 3 consoles in a row.
I'll tell you,
I'm gonna put this content. We got a PS4 the same year you released Last of Us. The fuck
know.
is wrong? That was wild to me. Why the fuck did you do that? And then what was it? You had what? Ghost of
Ghost
Tsushima
and Last of Us 2.
and
Spider-Man
Last of Us
Miles Morales.
2. And what did you do?
Sackboy.
PS5. So like, yeah.
It's
they
only
always
because
seem to do-
Xbox needed to put
Dreams?
Xbox needed to put
Dreams.
something out, and
Oh no,
Sony.
Xbox. I think Xbox absolutely needed it.
What?
PlayStation, I think on the PS3 side, sure, the 360 was still a threat. You could
Mhm.
look at that and go, "Oh, they might fuck us up if we don't play this right." With the PS4, they were so far ahead, they literally could have waited a year and been perfectly fine. Actually, we know they would have been.
I
fine
wonder
considering
what I
we
wonder
are
what would have
getting.
happened if they did a staggered release and you got studios making, there was a pretty noticeable difference, especially like Forza Horizon 4 going Series X and Xbox One. There's a huge difference. Like Horizon Forbidden West, there's a huge difference between the PS4 and the PS5 version. But let's say
Right.
Sony said, "Nah, we're gonna wait. We're not quite ready. We're not gonna have enough stock. We're not gonna be, we don't
Well,
want
they
to rush."
didn't have enough stock. Honestly,
And,
it would have been more beneficial.
And it was just the Series X and S out for a year. I just wonder what would have happened. What would that have been like? There would have been people like, I want to play the best version. I'm jumping ship. There probably would have been.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't know how
Well,
much.
I'll say this, that in 2019, they said that the PlayStation 5 should last 6 to 7 years, right? Which would be in 2027 at the max. And this year, this was only 2 weeks ago, that they said the PS6 is at the top of their mind right now. So
If it's just gonna be, if this is just gonna be like PC upgrades from now on, it's just gonna be
right. It's gonna.
But
be
you know what?
like
But you know what would make it even weirder to put it out next year? The pros, how old? The pros, what, a year or going on to
it'll be
a
a year in
I think it's
October.
No, I think it'd be 2020. I think next year will be Xbox. 2027 will be PlayStation 6.
Man, I don't know what Xbox is unless
I do
Xbox is.
think the fact that and Sony knows this, and they say, I mean, that's why they said that they say that they're doing a multi-generational approach. As you continue to drive Celia says, we've reduced traditional cyclicality, that's a crazy word, by establishing a large ecosystem of players across both the PS5 and PS4 generation.
Sounds like a Pokemon evolution. Fuck
but-
you. That's crazy.
As you continue to drive a multi-generational ecosystem into the future, we'll provide new ways for players to access the platform and experience our content and services. But that's why it's like, again, they said that the PS5 just got more users than the PS4 in terms of active users monthly. So to me, like, they view it as like, we're still making a lot of money off the PlayStation 4 players.
Mhm.
It's like, they can maybe think, all right, PS6, like, you're going to make money off of all
4,
three
5,
for
and
a little
6.
bit longer, That's weird.
That's
strange,
only.
We're in a weird times, man, because you
My
know
problem
why?
is this.
We're hitting that plateau of what
But here's
people
my
think-
problem. Here's my problem. The Pro is out for the 5. My concern is, even if it, let's say it comes out in 2027, is it going to be a crazier upgrade from people who are going from the Pro to this thing?
I mean, to be honest,
actually,
there isn't
June-
that big of a
June-
difference on
No way,
Pro to
yeah.
regular. It's way smaller than the PS4 Pro was over the PS4.
Yeah.
You're just
No
getting
way.
Returnal runs at like 1440p now instead of 1080p, with better frame rate. You're getting
Have they packed some of the issues I heard with like certain games?
Forbidden West looks stunning, but it already looks stunning. It just looks even more stunning. It's like, it's not. But they are working on PSSR 2 and also supporting FSR 4, which are both going to be improvements in not maybe even near DLSS. If Sony's PSSR can get near DLSS, we see what it can do for the Switch 2. Imagine what it could do. For those.
For PS6.
Yeah. So
quick
I don't know.
question.
I don't think there isn't that big of a jump. But I think Stellar Blade was quite noticeably, that used PSSR effectively, and it was definitely higher resolution and smoother.
I just don't know if I want to pay $100 for a new console, man. I'm just
That's what the
scared.
PS6 is going to be, $800. What do you think the Xbox PC is going to be? It's going to be the handheld's $1,000 or $800 to $900 for the ROG
true.
Ally. What's the freaking console going to
true.
be?
Oh,
Yeah, man.
it's gonna
I'm
be.
interested to see, man. I'm interested.
If it, to me, if you get that close to 1,000, bro, just start PC.
If they're
building.
still releasing games on PlayStation 4 and stuff, we're gonna legit still get games for PS5.
I think they
We're
only.
literally
I mean, so they
like
only.
30
They,
years from now.
I think there's technically we still get games on PS4.
I know. The new
but
Call of
like-
Duty is coming to PS4.
Which I don't understand that. That's crazy to me.
That is crazy.
To me, at this point, I'm like, why even? You
Again,
could
they got
probably-
did you not see the active users? There's plenty of people on PS4 that still don't give a
because
fuck.
well,
They're like,
yeah, of course, because the PS4 topped out at what? Do we know what was the all-time
I think
sales?
it was
of the
like 116 or something like that.
Yeah, like it topped out pretty high. Like even though the PS5 is doing well in sales, like there's a lot of money still in that old generation because
Yeah,
you know
117 now. So
my concern is that they're gonna run into the same issue with the PS5 where motherfuckers couldn't buy it for like a year and a half, and people were like, "Well, I guess we gotta go on scalpers and get on eBay and spend $700, $800 for a console that we should have already had."
I think that's nuts that the PS5 literally the monthly users just got crossed. I think that's just crazy that 5 years is that
Because
that probably never
I
happened.
think because we've been saying it, it wasn't like even if you want to give the PS5 props for its library overall, it took it a while to get to like a point where we were like, oh, I guess you got some decent amount of titles on your console now, and it's still in a situation where it's being mostly propped up by third party. Like people always
and a lot of third party is still coming to PS4 here and there. So
exactly.
But if you
'Cause,
watch that-
and the casuals, if you're playing Fortnite or something, you're not missing out. You know what I mean? You're not missing out.
no, I don't even fucking.
But if you watch that
I
state
mean,
of
if you're
play,
playing Fortnite, you're missing out on actual good games. I'm just saying.
well, here's how
you're a villain.
I'll use Cloctic's reaction to the state of play when he saw that Marvel Arc Systems fighting game.
Oh,
You know.
Tokon Battle.
He's like, I've not quoting him, but something to the fact of I'm gonna have to consider getting a PS5 now, you know. But if you watch the state of play, the Xbox showcase and the Games Fest was this, you know, just a bunch of shit. And you're like, yeah, I don't need a 9th gen console. Then I just gotta, I gotta question your
No,
gaming.
I get it,
your
but
gaming
we're 5
status.
years in, and that's like when you're starting to see like, all right, less support for PS4 because it was still a lot of people supporting PS4.
Yeah, or like PS4 was
like
getting
the new
so
Call
much.
of Duty is still on PS4, so it's like that's
And Xbox One.
a lot. It's a big. That's a big.
That
user base.
fucking floors me
Xbox
to a
One is
degree.
crazy. I highly doubt there's anyone on Xbox.
My
One
cousin, my nephew, I should say, he still plays it on there. He says it's, you know, the Xbox One Call of Duty freaking Black Ops 3 ran like shit, like on Xbox One. Like I just
I like Pharrell's reaction to that fighting game. Oh, it's getting bored!
Wait, what?
I thought it looked
Dragon
cool.
Ball,
talking
it's
about-
getting bored! It's
It's-
getting bored!
He's talking about because I geeked out when the game came out. I saw
Oh, the Mario. Yeah, okay.
I saw the footage and I was like, oh, that's getting bought. That's getting bought. Listen, there's certain things you can and can't do around me. You can't take my Marvel and then animify it and then be like, well, you're not gonna be it. No, the credit card's on the table. Just take the fucking money. We ain't doing this. The point is though, he fucked me up with that. I hate that you quoted me, you ass. No, the overarching point is that as of right now, I get it's I think would be the most justified time to say, hey, go ahead and get a PS5. The problem is if you're hearing some PS6 talk in a year or two, it's like
That's what's kind of difficult because some people might
because you know
I
it's
would
gonna
honestly-
do. It's gonna do one or two things. It's either A, gonna make the adoption to the PS6 even slower, which is what I think is going to happen. I think people,
Yeah, it
if
will.
people
It'll be
start
slower.
buying PS5s like more now because of the games that are out and the games announced, and we already know that Sony, two of their consoles could be profitable at the same time, where the PS4 is still going into the PS5 generation. Motherfuckers won't touch a PS6 or have no agency to get a PS6. That's a better statement. Until like four or 5 years into the PS6's life cycle. And I don't think I think their issue is going to be, we're not making money off of that. Like,
Yeah.
They can't survive off that
Like, put
brand
some
recognition.
kicking their
forever.
ass to make some more games though for PS6.
well, they got to stop fucking up their money. That's the core issue with that.
Well, hopefully the start of the generation would be better because they already fucked up. So now they're like scrambling to make games. Maybe.
Well,
Hey, listen.
I would answer
just means
somebody who's like, well, PS6. Well, in a year or two, you're gonna be paying $800 for a PS6, or right now you can get the Astrobot bundle for $450 and have
True.
something to play for the. You don't need the PS6 in 2 years or next year. You're gonna be
That's true
fine.
too.
You'll be fine
Like,
for like another 4 or 5 years
mean-
with the PS5.
But what if the PS6 comes with the Astros Playroom 2 and only on...
But
I
still,
don't-
it's
I
just
don't-
like
I don't think
anybody
they'd
saying,
be-
"Well, I'm gonna wait for Smash Bros. I'm gonna wait for this." Like, if you're just like okay, not playing all these 9th gen only games, I guess maybe they're not appealing to you or whatever. But at the same time, it's like there's just so many games.
I think the Switch 2 thing is always gonna crack me up because I'm like, this isn't the Wii U to Switch transition where we were like, fuck, we gotta rebuy all these games. You know, it was fuck, what are we playing? Also, fuck, I gotta rebuy these games again. Because it's not like the shit carried over. No, if you are a Switch owner, you absolutely have all your shit for the most part carrying over. And if any, and in most cases, running better, smoother frame rates and shit. This is how PS4, well, no, this is how PS5 users felt when they bought theirs early. Because all their PS4 games ran better.
I played Final Fantasy, you know.
I played Immortals Phoenix Rising, and I was like, oh my god, like this game at 60 FPS looks so amazing. Like it was so.
Listen, I hate to be real about it. The thing I've probably played the most on my Switch 2 as of recently has been Pokemon. I hate even admitting that.
I've been seeing it, and I see you streaming it.
Yeah, sorry about it. And yeah, I've streamed it like twice.
Just circling around, hunting for shinies.
Mind your business, sir. Okay, it's a lifestyle.
So is it the upgrade, or was it just like because people talk about it?
I don't know what. I'm gonna be real with you because the shiny thing has always been a thing in this game, but for whatever reason, I just got reinvigorated.
Well, now you can see them from a distance.
Also, no pun
yeah, because the draw distance is better. The draw distance is better, which makes it easier to see them. And it's just, and I don't have to worry about the game lagging me the fuck out.
And the windmill's not moving at 2 frames per second until you're right next to it.
Yeah, I'll be real with you. Mario Kart's gonna be a game that I wasn't like, I'm gonna put 50 hours in at once. I already knew that's gonna be a game that lasts me 8 years. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a bunch of other shit around it, and I'll always come back to it. Mario Kart is a game you always come back to. It will never not get played in a year. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So like in my mind. Yes, you're gonna fall. You're falling.
I gotta go shiny hunting.
It's not that I had to. I just kind of
such judgment, man.
Oh, because he's an ass, but it's okay. I opened myself up to it in that situation.
Oh yeah, I saw you streaming, playing, running in circles, shiny hunting.
Hey, listen,
it was funny though, I just saw that. I'm like, damn, bro, he's grinding, bro. He's grinding.
Oh,
I wish there was. I wish they made that in
since we've been talking. I want you to understand that right now. The game is on right now. If you check my shit, it says I'm still playing Scarlet Violet because I am. Like it's just that it's become a part of the.
That now, then, in that case.
Let's go check actually.
Because you were close to 200, weren't you?
Yeah. Don't.
215 hours.
I hate that you've looked it up quicker than me. Jesus Christ. I have the game on. That fucked me up. I hated all of that. I hated
you played Fortnite for 5 hours.
Oh my I've been getting into that. The Switch 2 version of it runs pretty well. Don't get it twisted. How
you like Fortnite?
Fortnite's been pretty good. I need that gyro aiming is super sensitive.
Did you is Darth Vader free? Like, can you just talk to him freely?
Yeah, you can talk to him.
Have you talked to him?
I talked to him.
What is that?
You did?
Oh, by the way, try that game with mouse controls. We were floored how well that works.
Which game?
Fortnite.
You should do that as a game night.
Fortnite supports mouse controls for Switch 2.
Since we played.
It supports mouse controls for Switch 2. I am floored at how well that works. That shit is absurd. Okay. I don't really play mouse and keyboard games like that, but man, I was like, God damn.
Yeah, like one Joy-Con like that, the other like that, that'd be fun.
You have to do that.
Why can't I look at all my friends? It's like, oh, there they are.
How do you walk? You gotta walk with your other Joy-Con.
No, right? you remember your hands right there on top of it. You're just using this to fire.
I used it on the menu a little bit.
It's a weird feeling, but once you get used to it, it actually.
You use the other Joy-Con.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, okay. You can.
So
you have options.
Okay.
I'm looking at my friends list, and Cyberpunk played for a little while. I'm not gonna say who.
Oh, don't be a dick.
And then played for 6 hours. It hasn't changed in 10 days. So.
I'll put some context. It's funny because if they did not make bank off of that Cyberpunk port on Switch 2, I would be surprised.
Well, apparently it
Like-
only sold the attach rate was like 3% or something, or 5% of Switch.
Really?
2s.
I feel like I've been
Yeah,
seeing
but
people.
So it's like
That's
150,000 at launch.
That's not bad.
Oh, Robert
over
Rule
time
too. He's
you're gonna
got
get-
12 hours and he already played the game on PC.
Yeah, over time that's gonna keep selling. Like you're not gonna like they probably already made money.
But it
off
was
that.
the highest selling third-party game.
It was the
Yeah, that's
highest.
what I'm saying. As a third party, I think it did well. I guess it did
Yeah, but
well.
over time, it's going to sell. Like if you look at the past 4 years, The Witcher 3 Switchboard has sold consistently over the past 4 years. So
How much did they? I don't think we have exact numbers though. Do we?
Or Shadow Fox
You have
almost
to add it
has.
up.
Shadow Fox
The
is almost.
Xenoblade-
He's almost up to his Welcome Tour numbers with Mario Kart World. He's almost hit
What
13
the fuck?
hours
Wait,
on Welcome Tour, 11 on Mario Kart. So
How do you hit 13 hours on Welcome Tour?
I don't know. I said it before. There's a game for everyone, but I was like, how in the world did
What
did you
What are
say
you
it?
doing? In Welcome Tour is literally just a hey, we're playing the game, ladies and gentlemen. Like,
Man,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
seeing
I
a
don't-
lot of little whiles, 2 hours on Cyberpunk for all this, all these people out here. Oh, 42. There we go. SK Massive, 42 hours. He's got the most out of anybody on my friends list.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I would probably pick up the game, right? But I'd have a little while because I'm not gonna beat it on there. I would just want to own it. Like I would just want to support the game on it. You know?
I probably would. Well, I haven't
I
played
already,
anything
I already
else.
beat it. I don't need to play it again. Not anytime soon.
It's
but-
funny you say you wanna own it and support it from a guy who doesn't like physical games.
Brother, I get physical games and it supports them. What do you mean?
I'm sick of this
It
dog,
don't
bro.
Whether
That
it's
was
a-
pure
put it in a box or
villainy.
not, if it's a box. I gave him
Let's
money.
see, Lightning hasn't been playing. Does he have a Switch 2? Probably not.
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
Probably
He's been
not.
playing
Why-
Pokemon Scarlet.
Wait,
He
I
doesn't have a
lied.
Switch
Maybe-
2 game. He hasn't played a Switch 2 edition.
Oh,
or
Okay,
okay.
never mind. Maybe he hasn't.
no
Never mind, I lied.
GameCube.
No, never mind. I lied.
No,
He has money. I know that. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
I played for the first time local co-op Mario Kart. I have this cousin that I didn't know I had.
What the fuck?
What do you mean? You mean you found family through the
I
power of
don't know.
Nintendo?
I don't know my.
The
I don't know
fuck
my.
is-
Like, I don't know my family tree. Right?
gotta
So
wrap
it's like
this up
my-
here.
it's like,
We gotta
it's like-
go,
let me
dog.
say this story real quick because it's like my it's on it's like I don't know where they live. I think they live in a different country or something. And
you don't
it's
even know
it's like my,
where that
my
country is.
mother
either.
is. It's like my cousin's cousin. It's like the third cousin or something like that. Maybe.
What?
It's this. He doesn't speak English. He's 8. But he has a Switch.
I
And he was
hate,
like, "Oh, we
I
have a
hate all of
Switch.
this.
Like, we have a Switch too." And then so I would talk to him and I would Google Translate it and I go back and forth as like that Google Translate.
Wait, but you said you did it locally. Now you said he lives in a different country and doesn't speak English.
No, but he visited here.
But how did he
I-
know that you existed?
No, I don't know. No, so he didn't come to visit me. You know, they don't give a fuck. They don't know who I am.
Well, he
like,
didn't visit you, but still you played
I live
locally
in I
together.
live with other people. They visited for like my grandparents and stuff. You know, so the whole thing is this kid. We played Mario Kart. And I was trying to explain to him that this is an open world. I'm like, he's only 8 years old, so he was born when the Switch 1 came out. And so he was looking at this room. He's like, "Yo, that's crazy!" Or he said, "Oh my gosh!" in Spanish. and so I'm going back and forth with him. And but it's so funny. I forget how bad kids are at playing games, because he's playing Mario Kart, but he's so bad at it. But like it's and then but it was fun. It was funny because I was
Ándale.
was
I hated
enjoying-
all of that. Oh my god, in Spanish.
well, he was enjoying
Ay,
the-
caramba.
He was like, he said, "You have Rayman Legends," and I'm like, and I was explaining to him like, "Oh, I beat Rayman
I
Legends
have
on Wii U."
I have the Legend of Rayman. Come here.
So we ended up playing a little bit of Rayman Legends, and I was being an entertaining guy. We were fighting.
You weren't just destroying them. You were taking it easy on them.
I was going first place every single time with Mario Kart, but then he was playing 50cc.
Yes.
Like he wanted to go to go play easy mode, and then
He's
And
a
then, but it was just
child,
like,
you
played a
villain.
little bit of Rayman Legends, and like it was, it was funny because I was trying to tell him like, well,
Hola, do
hopefully
you
you
have
get
the
a
Rayman
Switch 2 for
Legends?
Christmas, and at this point I became a salesman. I was like, later this year, upcoming lineup is Donkey Kong Bonanza, Metroid Prime 4.
I bet you ain't gonna be able to afford all that shit. He's 8.
Yeah, also, he doesn't even know some of those IPs anyway.
No, he had Metroid Dread on the thing. I doubt he beat it, but it was like,
That
Oh,
that
that's
is
some
his.
bullshit.
Probably
I
his.
doubt
Probably,
he beat it. Little
That's
oh,
bitch.
it's hard to
Here's when
find.
Robert. Here's how Robert played against this 8-year-old.
This Robert just.
I
smacked
love
his-
this clip, man. I love this
Is
clip.
that Billy Madison?
Yeah.
No, but again, to be fair, he had a lot of fun. He played the Switch. He tried the Joy-Cons.
No such thing as try hard though. That's a try
No, but he
hard.
was like, "This is great." He was like, "I loved it. This was fantastic." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm
That
glad."
sounds like something Robert would do. Robert, you getting to the point where
yeah.
now you can bully children and it's weird now.
But it was funny though. 'Cause
Anyway, we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah,
Fun discussion, and we'll probably be back next week.
Adios, amigos.
Sayonara.
TNA Rayman Legends. Gracias.